What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Forget the burdens of tenants and toilets. Equity Multiple simplifies your investment journey, letting you invest passively in vetted, cash-flowing commercial real estate. Only 5% of reviewed investments reach Equity Multiple's platform, with our asset management working on each from funding through exit to maximize your returns. Enjoy the confidence to diversify your portfolio and the convenience of an easy-to-use online platform. Whether you're on the couch, in your exec chair, or the back seat of a rideshare, Equity Multiple brings real estate investing to your fingertips. All investments involve risk. Visit equitymultiple.com to learn more.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4124. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. Montgomery! And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, it's a salute to Dad on a Bad Choice Friday. The return of Ted versus the FCC. Plus headlines, a Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted. Click, clack, drink it to drown. All right, here we go. We head down under for an Aussie good meal of cheese fries, a bloomin' onion, and crocodile bites. To the FBI building in Seattle for another ordinary day on 3rd Avenue sites. One-bedroom home in San Francisco just sold for $2 million in cash. A self-driving Tesla in California causes another deadly crash. And a monkey on the loose in North Carolina is finally back home to its natural habitat. Yeah. Some dude's apartment. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, I have never liked pickles. I think pickles are absolutely disgusting, but I recognize that I'm in the minority. A lot of people really love pickles. Hell, a guy in Indiana, he likes pickles so much that he went to Buffalo Wild Wings and offered employees weed, cocaine, ecstasy, and vape cartridges in exchange for fried pickles. He didn't get any pickles, but he did get arrested. Then there's a guy in Florida who really likes pickles. In fact, he likes pickles so much that he put one in his butt and masturbated in a stranger's front yard. He, too, was arrested. Now, cops explained that food is for eating, you see. Maybe not what he was doing. However, some people like to use food as a weapon. One man, well, he was arrested for hitting his wife in the face with a piece of salami. Another man was arrested for attacking his sister with fried chicken, while yet another man went to jail for assaulting his roommates with pizza dough. Now, maybe we should take a page from the animal kingdom and simply eat our food. For example, a python in Indonesia, he didn't assault another python with an adult woman. No, he ate the adult woman. And in Australia, a 12-foot saltwater crocodile, it didn't play with people's pets. It simply ate them. And in return, the town residents killed, cooked, and ate said crocodile. Circle of life stuff right there, kids. Now, today we're talking about food, whether it's food you ate, smelled, cooked, dropped, puked up, were assaulted with, wore, brought into the bedroom, stole like grapes at the grocery store, whatever. Today's question is, good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food?
To be a part of the big show, call 206-803-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
It's time to dust off your glove, grab your bat, and hit the road for some baseball. But before you head to the game, make sure your ride is in top shape. At Axton Automotive, our skilled mechanics ensure your vehicle is running smoothly so you can focus on cheering for your team. Don't strike out this spring. Get your car ready for baseball season. Visit AxtonAutomotive.com or call 360-685-7976.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All the Charles, away we go. Welcome to Season 19, Episode number 4124. What a large and in charge program we have for you today on this Positive Friday. The exciting return of Ted versus the FCC. Man, what a late night we had last night. Got up with some tongue twisters for Ted, and then we came in today, and Ted's not here.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, all that time. And he's not even here today. So, what we decided to do, since we made it to the midpoint in the year, believe it or not, we're going to run back for you every miss so far in Ted versus the FCC. And Ted has had a tough year. So we've got a few misses on there coming up. So we'll run back every miss so far on Ted versus the FCC coming up. As you know, our end of the year spectacular. We run all of them back from the year. A lot of times, though, people are out of town doing whatever they're doing. And there's a chance to hear that. So we go halfway point, and we'll bring you every miss so far on Ted versus the FCC coming up. What else do we have for you? Some updated locations on the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing. Thank you for continuing to email us at the Men's Room at KISW.com and sending those in along with the pic. We appreciate that. We'll shoot you an email back and say, do you mind if we post your picture to our socials? Yes, and then hopefully you'll go like, no, F you guys. And then we can't. But ideally, we'd like to spread the word on all the different locations where you can pick up either a six-pack or find it on draft. Oh, wait, there's more. Look, if you happen to miss any episode of the show, it's real easy to catch up. Download the Odyssey app, absolutely free. Check out our daily podcast every day. If you subscribe to our daily podcast, what did you find this morning along with the Thursday show? You found the Men's Room Happy Hour, episode number 14.
14, yes.
Episode number 14 is out now. The only way that you can get the Happy Hour, you must subscribe to our daily podcast. That is the formula that they have concocted to make sure that you get it without having to think about downloading it. Don't ask me why. You can't just go and download it. You've got to subscribe to the page. You've got to subscribe to our daily podcast. Then bonus, on Friday, you get the Happy Hour.
See, for a lot of companies doing stuff like that, they actually charge you a convenience fee.
Yeah.
Your convenience is that we've given you extra steps. But in this case, at least it's free.
It is.
We just make you jump through a couple of hoops.
It's going to be right in there for you on Friday morning, so it'll give you a chance to check it out over the weekend if you have time. Catch up on previous episodes. Don't forget the Men's Room Radio channel is up there, a radio station that we got to make with our own favorite music.
Yep.
So that's something you can listen to over the weekend, too, while you're grilling up some Men's Room beer brats from Woolies, or maybe dipping your chip in some Men's Room roasted red salsa from San Juan Salsa Company while drinking a Men's Room IPA, all to benefit the Fisher House.
Yes, indeed.
And the 3 locations. So it all goes to a good spot. Oh, what else do we have for you today? It is the weekend, and a Father's Day weekend it is. We are going to salute Dad on a Bad Choice Friday right after we drink and toast with a shot of the day.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. You know it's Bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault.
Jam on. And some people can't stand their dads, so we bring you Madonna.
Should have been, I'm keeping my razor.
She's going to keep her baby.
She has kids, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, who's her kid? Is that
Lourdes?
Lourdes.
I know
Lourdes.
that one. I remember one.
It's Lourdes. I have no idea how to say their name, but I know they are a singer or actress or something.
Okay, so they're all grown up now.
What's her name?
Lourdes Leon. Yeah. There's David Banda, Rocco Ritchie, Mercy James.
Oh, she's got a bunch of kids.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Madonna's a mommy. How about that?
4-time mommy.
Papa Don't Preach from Madonna taking on James Brown on a Bad Choice Friday.
Papa's got a brand new bag.
And if it's a dad, it's probably a fanny pack. Or a backpack.
Yeah.
Baby
Bjorn.
More practical than, most. When you watch a woman walk down the street, she's got like 9 bags, 5 things to drink crap out of, her lunchbox with her, all that stuff. Guy just walks down the street, goes to work.
That's it.
Picks up a coffee along the way. But he got a brand new bag now to use, maybe if he's vacation. So James Brown and Papa's got a brand new bag taking on Madonna and Papa Don't Preach. How do you vote? You just follow us on Twitter at Men's Room Live. One of those 2 tunes coming up right after we drink and toast in the weekend with the shot of the day. Now today we are going to talk about food, good or bad, and memorable experiences. And depending on what that experience is, it might be memorable to you. If Ted was here, he would tell you a memorable food experience is watching his mom projectile a garlic knot out of her mouth because she was choking on it, and he had to give her the Heimlich.
Yeah.
Now, this is not the only time Ted has given the Heimlich. He gave it another time, and I believe at a restaurant.
Both were at restaurants, I believe. And what was the other one? Was it his friend or something like that? Or kid? It was a kid, wasn't it?
Yeah. Hot dog, I believe. I don't know what the deal is. Ted is a Heimlich master. So those are unique food experiences. They are memorable, not necessarily good food experiences like, wow, what a meal. But those are included in the questions. Bad things that you've tried along the way. It seems like with Hit Me With Your Best Shot, when we play Profile This, people seem to attack people with food more than anything else.
More than anything else. Seriously. I mean, like, it's almost, and I'm not doing it on purpose. You just say, this person was assaulted. You go through the story, and I'm like, I'll be damned. I got hit with the frozen ham.
Yeah. And we had 3 people in the last month who got hit by spaghetti.
Which is insane.
Of all things.
How many people have spaghetti in their car? That all 3 of those incidences went from one car to the other.
Yes.
Like, do people in Florida, because they all came out of Florida, did they just drive around with spaghetti in their car?
I don't know.
Just for road rage thing. I will say, as far as disgusting goes, I worked in restaurants for 12 years, plenty of food things, but When you say a bad food experience, it just disturbed me. My brother was disgusted. We were much younger. We're visiting our cousins, and we're eating breakfast. My aunt had made scrambled eggs, very delicious. And I don't remember what I said, but my cousin started laughing, and the scrambled eggs came out of his nose and went into a glass of Coca-Cola that he was drinking. And they just kind of swirled around.
Yep.
And it doesn't sound like much. I cannot explain how gross it was. And I mean, if I bring it up to my brother to this day, he almost vomits.
I tell the story all the time about eating a bad mushroom that I cooked on my own, making some delicious chicken marsala one night at home. Next thing I know, I passed out on the toilet, ended up breaking 2 ribs into the sink pedestal. I'm on the floor. Next thing I know, there's 4 firemen who are trying to get me up and get me cleaned up to take me to the hospital and down the steps. Now, that was one story.
But they recognized you, didn't they? Didn't the one guy say
no, that was the ambulance driver. The guy in the back of the ambulance.
How'd they find you?
My then wife called.
Oh, damn. All right.
So, yeah, I was, I had passed out, and apparently I'd been in there for a while, and she was not hearing anything, so she knocked on the door, opened the door, and I guess I was on the floor, just totally gone, like, barely having a decent time breathing. I don't remember too much.
I have to say, did you know that you were about to pass out, or did you just feel the call of nature?
No, I said, hey, I got to go to the bathroom. Something's not right. I'm sweating now. I got hot.
Were your pants down?
Oh yeah. I was taking.
He was on the toilet.
I was on the toilet.
If I'm a fireman, like, dude, you got to pull your pants.
So these guys were these huge men, these firemen. Dude, they were huge. They basically just picked me up with a pinky and carried me down my steps. And when we got to the bottom of the steps, they said, "Can you walk?" And I said, "Yes, I can walk. I'm pretty sure I can walk. I've got my balance together." So one guy kind of held onto my arm. I walked my way over to the ambulance. They said, "Do we need to take the gurney out?" I said, "No, I can step up in the." So I stepped up in the ambulance, and they maybe lay down on the gurney. They strapped me in and everything. And I said, "Hey, man, I got to tell you, even if I wasn't sick, I have a very bad. My mind, for whatever reason, I used to get car sick a lot as a kid. I can't go on. My vertigo's terrible. I cannot go on rides that spin around.
Right.
I cannot. Even as a kid, they used to have station wagons where there were seats in the back that faced the opposite direction. I could not handle that. I could not go. I needed to see the road in front of me.
Didn't you almost throw up on the teacups with your daughters when they were young?
Oh yeah.
The teacup.
Who doesn't, man?
The
teacups.
You bet. That thing spins around too doggone much. Even I'm afraid to go on.
And the faster the better for them. And I'm like,
no.
So So I'm in the gurney. I'm facing the wrong way. I'm like, man, I got to tell you. I'm laying down. I'm facing the wrong direction. Do you guys have a bag in here in case I throw up? Because I'm not sure if I throw up in the bathroom or not, but I might need to puke. And the guy's like, sure, man, here's a puke bag. And yeah, he's checking my vitals and everything else. And I told him what happened. At that point in time, I was actually doing a dry month.
Oh, okay.
And I don't remember why. It was just like one of those challenges that I was doing for myself. I was going to the gym and all this stuff. So I had not had a drop of alcohol. At that point, I hadn't got to the point where I smoked weed because I just basically got done finishing my dinner. So he's like, do you have any drugs or alcohol in your system? And I said, no. I said, I don't know what happened. I said, I think I got food poisoning. I have no idea.
From a weird looking mushroom that you identified as you were cooking.
That is correct. So he says, so he gives me the puke bag, and we start heading toward the hospital in Ballard on 17th, and we're probably somewhere on Leary. And he goes, "How you feeling?" And I said, "Man, I'm feeling okay. I think, I don't think I'm going to puke, but I'm going to hold on to this bag anyway." And he goes, "Yeah, man, just want to tell you, Red Festival was a blast last night." Yeah, actually, it really was. Man. We had a lot of great bands. It was a good time. And I'm like, oh no. I look like the biggest city in the world. But
so he didn't believe that you had no alcohol in your system.
I knew so who would?
I wouldn't believe.
Yeah, but I do remember one thing growing up, which I thought was one of the more unique things about growing up in West Virginia. We had a volunteer fire department there. We did not have a full-staffed fire station. So a number of kids that I went with high school, they were volunteer firemen as well. But every year they would do a couple fundraisers. And once a year they would do a rattlesnake feed.
Yeah.
So the idea was that you had 4 or 5 pens. They had professional rattlesnake wranglers. They all had bags. They got into the pen that was jam-packed with rattlesnakes, like 50 of them in each pen, right? And this is probably an 8x8 square. And then they start bagging. Boom, 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 while keeping them away. And then the winner with the most stakes, they win the contest and they move on to the next round.
What in the world?
Yeah, but there's rattlesnakes everywhere. There are Tupperware containers everywhere filled with rattlesnakes. Now,
Mike, look at it like this. We got a lot of rattlesnakes. We got a lot of time on our hands. You know what's going to happen? We're going to wrangle rattlesnakes.
Right. So this is early in the day. They start at about 10 o'clock in the morning. Once the rattlesnakes get bagged, all right, one bag goes to the kitchen. And there's a group of ladies up there. The guys go ahead and put the snakes down. They take the snakes upstairs to the kitchen. And the ladies who know how to cook rattlesnake, they start cooking it. Stews, chilies. There's a bunch of different ways that you can cook rattlesnake. Then later on in the evening, about 4 or 5 o'clock, that's when you have your rattlesnake feed. Yes, you have potato salad, macaroni salad, rolls, all these things, but it's a feast, and the only meat product is the rattlesnakes they bag, caught, and they're fresh, and they were cooked that day.
What is the best form of rattlesnake that you had? Chili? Was it the stew? Did they make snake burgers?
I think the stew, because it was more slow cooked. So I think the longer you cook it, lower and slow, like chili was just like on the pot, on the stove. So it gets a little bit more tough, chewy and tough.
Yeah, it's very thin meat.
Because it's cooking in a sauce. Where the stew was more of a slow roll, it just had a better taste to it as far as how it felt in your mouth. The taste is the same. It was the consistency. It's like a well done steak, not good, but if you cook it right, it's going to be good. But that was one of those. It was normal. That was normal. Sure, that was a normal thing. Was to go to this thing and watch guys bag rattlesnakes, and then you knew later on, and they had rides for kids. They had had all kinds of dumb stuff, dunk tanks. It was a huge festival. And they made a ton of money basically, they made enough money on one day where, like, I knew Russell McCormick, who was the fire chief, and I knew his son because I went to school with him. And I was like, Russ, what did you guys do with the money this year? And he said, we bought a hose nozzle. And I'm like, you bought a hose nozzle? He's like, yeah, the nozzle. I'll show it. So he shows me this pretty complicated looking piece of equipment, looked like a lightsaber at the end of the hose. He's like, you know how much that cost? And I was like, I have no idea. $1,200, whatever it was. It was just astonishing to me.
Right.
Like how much the equipment cost just to maintain the fire truck. So they would, they didn't go out of there. They didn't buy they bought like one new uniform for a new guy. One new hat for another guy. I mean, that crap is expensive.
Sure.
I had no idea. But they raised money. That's what they raised money for, was a volunteer fire department.
I like it, man.
Yeah.
Everywhere else it's like chicken. So at least rattlesnake, and the idea of watching them.
They had a half chicken feed as well.
But you're not watching them chase chickens around.
No.
The fascinating thing is watching them wrangle snakes.
This is more of like a speedy sauce with a mop, where they would put it on a big-ass grate and just kind of mop it with this clear liquid. And it was fantastic chicken, don't get me wrong. I go to that, too. I think they raised more money with the chicken feed than they did the rattlesnake feed.
Yeah, don't say.
It was all part of the showmanship aspect of it. So our question, good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK.
Text here says, there's a lady that will come by my work at Target and eat the raw meat from the coolers. Haven't seen her in a while, though. Wonder how she's holding up. Also don't know how she got into eating raw meat. My thing is, even if you want to eat raw meat, maybe don't go directly to the store and eat it out of the cooler. I don't know. That's just me. Hello, Adam. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
So, my story is, I love garlic, especially raw garlic. I like that burn. So I had some of, that minced garlic you get that's in oil.
Sure.
Yeah.
I decided to take a spoonful and just eat it. I thought I'll handle the burn. Well, I don't know what kind of chemical seeps out of it, but it immediately made all of the muscles in my throat spasm and my stomach. It was worse than the flu. My body was trying to get that out and throw up nonstop. I mean, painfully.
So, like the garlic that comes in a jar that's minced, you basically just took a spoonful and swallowed it?
Yeah, I thought, I'm cooking. You know what? What the heck? Dumb guy thing. I'm just going to take a spoonful of it. But I didn't know my body would have that reaction. It wasn't like I had an upset stomach. It's like my muscles were all flexing and convulsing, and it took a while. I thought I was choking. It was so bad. My body did not want it in, and it was doing anything to get it out.
How long did all of your convulsions last?
It felt like it was probably only 2 or 3 minutes. That's a long time when everything's pushing and squeezing.
But did you ever read the side of the jar? Because, I mean, a lot of people have the minced garlic. I think I have a jar in. But I've never taken the time to read what else is in there that your body... Because there's probably not just minced garlic that your body's trying to get out.
I would guess it was olive oil.
You think?
Yeah, I assume it's just oil, but there's probably some chemical in garlic that when you cook or have it fresh isn't saturated and not in that quantity, but my body identified it, I'm sure, as toxic and said, hey, this is coming out whether you want it or not.
And did it smell just the same when it was coming out?
I don't think I even thought about the smell. It was, am I going to die? I didn't expect that violent of a reaction.
Well, here's what I would suggest to you. First of all,
don't do that.
First of all, cook garlic because obviously you don't have a reaction there. Also, if you go to T-Mobile or if you go to the link down there, don't ever get the garlic fries because that is basically what they're putting on there.
Oh, it's straight out of the jar.
In its raw form. So if you have a bad reaction, I can't believe that nobody in a baseball game has ever had a bad reaction, but you specifically, that is exactly what they scoop on those fries, and you can smell them a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
I think when it's distributed or with other food, it might be different, but this is a whole spoonful just swallowed straight down.
That's probably the difference.
Different challenges or something.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's probably just a spoonful. Do you like their garlic fries, man?
Man, I'm disappointed
my wife
every time. Get them all the time, and it's the same thing. You get a whiff of it from a section.
Smells great.
It comes down, you smell it, you're like, all right, that smells pretty good. You're basically just smelling the garlic, not the French fries. She always goes and gets them. I think they're terrible. I like French fries. I love garlic. I like them both. I just don't think they go together.
I like garlic fries. I don't know what's going on at the stadiums down there, but the fries are so bad. You know what I mean?
The garlic is too much, and it's not.
Now, reek of garlic. I've had these cold salt. I don't know how you make fries that soggy. It's almost like they have expertise in this.
Very rarely would I ever cut myself off on having coital relations. But as soon as we get into the car, I know right then and there that I might sleep in the guest room tonight. Right. This is not going away. Like the smell of her breath is so pungent, and it's not necessarily bad. It's just garlic.
It's just garlic.
It's just straight garlic. Every time she burps, it's garlic. Every time she opens her mouth to talk to me, it's garlic. I can't sit on the couch with her because she smells like the section away and the fries that made her buy them in the first place. I don't think they're that good. I think there's a million other things in the ballpark to get other than
the flavor doesn't deliver is the whole thing. The flavor is not there. They're just soggy fries.
The fries are gross.
Thank you. Yeah. Good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK.
Here's why April chose to vaccinate her child.
I think actually meeting someone who was not vaccinated and now has a lifelong struggle with a childhood disease really cemented for me that it's super important that we as parents continue to vaccinate our children.
Talk to your pediatrician or visit yvaccines.com. Brought to you by Merck.
It's warming up, folks, and about time to turn on your AC unit and cross your fingers. Or you can give up that moment of truth and switch to an American Standard heat pump system like I did. My place is on Comfort Autopilot thanks to American Standard. Energy efficient and reliable, my heat pump keeps things cool like the Arctic in the summer. And with energy incentives, I was able to save. Ready for the future of comfort? Learn more at americanstandardair.com/electrification.
Picture this. It's blazing hot outside and you need to get to work. You get into your car and turn on the AC to get cold air pumping as soon as possible. But it doesn't work. Instead, blowing hot air out of your vents and directly into your face. No, your car doesn't hate you. This issue is commonly caused by low refrigerant due to leaks in the air conditioning system. And there's an easy, all-in-one solution that will restore the cold air in no time. There's no need to go to the shop and pay lots of money when you can save time and money recharging yourself with AC Pro Recharge Kits. AC Pro Recharge Kits make restoring cold air easy for even those with zero DIY experience. And the AC Pro app offers clear, vehicle-specific instructions to help you get the job done in less than 10 minutes. So pick up an AC Pro Recharge Kit at any store selling auto products and confidently restore your car's cold air yourself today. Be a pro with AC Pro.
Welcome to a trip you'll never forget in Denver, where summer sunshine sparks mountain adventure, where neighborhood strolls lift spirits sky high, and where music takes center stage at Red Rocks. Catch a baseball game at Coors Field, step into new dimensions at Meow Wolf, and take flavor to the next level under the stars at a Michelin restaurant. Denver, always welcome. Plan your trip at visitdenver.com/summer.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK. This story is something else. We go down under. A remote Australian community has taken revenge on a massive saltwater crocodile. Wednesday, police in the town of Bulla in Australia's Northern Territory shot the crocodile after deeming it a significant risk to the community. In a statement, police said the predator had been stalking and lunging out at children in the water and adults, and had also reportedly taken multiple community dogs.
Yes.
From neighbors in the area. Well, in a waste-conscious move, the crocodile was prepared for a feast in a traditional manner, but not before authorities took the opportunity to give local children an impromptu crocodile safety session, including an up-close look at the dangers within our waterways. They showed them the crocodile.
Sure, yes.
There. Before they slaughtered it, cooked it up into crocodile tail soup on the bobby, and a few of the pieces were wrapped up in banana leaves and cooked underground. It was a rather large traditional feast, and we were all left there with full bellies. Both saltwater and freshwater crocodile species are protected in Australia, where hunting the animal has been banned since 1971. However, in the Northern Territory, they now have 100,000 crocodiles.
Damn.
So if any are nuisance-based, they are able to get rid of them. Any body of water in the top end of that area in the Northern Territory will contain large and potentially dangerous crocodiles. The territory's website notes saltwater crocodiles can grow up to how many feet?
18.
20 feet.
Damn.
Weigh up to a ton and will eat just about anything. Unfortunately for this crocodile, he was the one that was eaten. So good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Ronnie. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
Hey, happy Father's Day to all you guys.
Hey, thank you, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Right on. So, hey, this is Rocky Ronnie here, and I was turning 12 years old, and I was told that you're going to get a motorcycle for your birthday, but first you must eat the broccoli on your plate. Back then, there was no not finishing everything on your plate. I don't even know why the threat was there, but I had to eat all this broccoli. So my stepmonster brought out this big plate of broccoli, and I dove in, and I just devoured it. I wanted this motorcycle bad, right? And it disappeared in like 1 minute. Great big pile of broccoli. So I look across and my dad is picking through his, and my stepmonster says, "What's wrong?" He says, "This has ticks in it."
Oh!
And she's like, "What are you talking about?" We all go stand up and look at his plate. I'm not exaggerating, you guys. His plate of broccoli had at least 200 ticks in the broccoli. It was thoroughly infested.
And that was the same broccoli you ate?
Everybody started looking at their plate. Everybody had a plate full of ticks.
Did you get the motorcycle?
I did. I got my motorcycle for my birthday.
Well,
Yes,
hopefully she steamed or cooked the broccoli. The ticks were no longer alive, correct?
She must have steamed. Oh, they were very dead. But,
all right. Okay.
Yeah, she steamed them, and I mean they were all still there. So if they should have boiled them, they probably would have all been floating on top of the.
I don't know if
Did you manage to keep your broccoli down after you realized you ate a plate full of ticks?
I did. I grabbed my throat and went and made a big fuss about it. But it didn't bother me, not in the slightest bit. I had no kind of repercussion.
Could you see any evidence of ticks in your poop?
No, I don't recall looking. But
I would have been looking, man. I mean, it's like when you eat corn, right? It's not. There it is. I would just think if I ate ticks, just to make sure they're getting out of my body, I'd be checking my poop very thoroughly.
What at the age of 10? What do you get? A 125 or do you get a 50cc?
I got a Honda XR75 brand
all right.
new.
Is it the kind with the blue seat?
Yes, sir. I believe it was blue. Yeah,
yep.
And tore it up for 4 years while that little baby.
Nice.
Ronnie.
By the way, Ronnie, by you sharing the story, a texter just texted in, I'm going to pull over and puke, just so you know.
Good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK.
Okay, we're going to go to Chucky. I was going to go to Justin, but Justin had the presence of mind to text me and say, "Hey, Thrill, it's Justin. Give me 2 minutes. I'm ordering food." So we'll get to you in a second, man. Hello, Chucky. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Wish me a happy birthday.
Is it your birthday?
No, it's my birthday's on Father's Day.
Oh, it is. It's on Sunday. Oh, that's cool.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, Tupac's birthday is on June 16th, so I can't complain.
All right, fair enough.
Are you a father?
Not yet, but I'm...
Not yet, but what? Your phone broke up.
I'm just married.
Okay. All right.
Well, you'll be a father in no time.
Sure. That'll be your idea, too.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. So what was your most memorable experience involving food?
So involving food, when I used to live back in my first auto shop, second period, usually they have for the sustaining part, second period.
Hey, Chuck. Hey, man, do us a favor.
Call us back.
Your phone's breaking up. It's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Hello, Josh. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Hola.
How are you guys?
We're great, man. Positive Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. Except the traffic going south is not good today.
That's because that accident at 4:30 this morning that shut down the 2 right-hand lanes.
Or it's because you're on 5. That's how I look at it.
Are you close to 5?
I'm actually down in Centralia now. I'm heading back towards Portland.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Well, that's just weekend traffic.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's ugly. But no, my story is kind of remind me of hearing Ted Heimlich stories. Night before my best friend's wedding, all the ladies had left and got a couple rooms. I think it was up at Tulalip. They went up there for the night before the wedding, and all us guys were hanging out in the backyard barbecuing steaks, and she'd left her little dog there. And her little dog's about an 8-pound dog named Steve, of all things.
Steve,
the 8-pound dog.
Steve is the 8-pound dog, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Steve.
And
that's an odd name for a dog, dude.
Yeah. Steve.
I mean, I like it, but it's still kind of like, what's your dog's name, Steve?
Especially when it's a runner, so you got to get out and you got to holler Steve as you're chasing it down the road. So it's not
weird.
It's just a little strange. But so I was sitting next to my best friend. We were cooking steaks. He cut a piece of steak off for her dog because it was right at his feet, and that thing ate it like an alligator, and walked off. And about 10, 15 seconds later, it started to wobble and fell over. And so kind of jumped up and looked at it and wondered what's going on. So we had to improvise the Heimlich. So I picked it up upside down, squeezed it like a little dog toy a few times, and it had lodged that piece of steak right in his throat.
Did he spit it out, Steve?
Yeah. When I turned it upside down and started pounding on its back, it hacked it up and wandered off and was never seen the rest of the night.
You saved Steve, and then he's too ashamed to show his face.
And you said that was your girl's dog?
No, that was my best friend's. It was the night before his wedding. It was his wife's dog. She'd left him there when the girls had left to go up and spend the evening before the wedding.
Ah, okay.
So it was her dog. So the bad part was we were trying to figure out who was going to have to tell her that we killed her dog the night before her wedding.
But Steve did survive, correct?
Steve did survive.
All right, Steve.
Okay.
I'm glad you improvised on the dog Heimlich, man. You know what I mean?
I mouth to mouth. I mean, on a little 8-pound dog, could you get your mouth around the snout?
I'm glad he said what he did, because I'm thinking to myself, if my dog were choking on something, I don't know what the go-to move is. Now I know. Pick it upside down, squeeze it like a dog toy.
But if it's a smaller dog, you would think that you could actually give it mouth breaths.
I mean, if it's suffocating or whatever. But
as long as it's not like a collie with some
throat.
big-ass snout, I mean, you can get your mouth around it and blow in.
What do you think would be the worst dog to try to give mouth-to-mouth?
Collie.
Do they have the longest snout?
They have at least a 6 to 8 inch snout, man.
See, and I'd go with like a bulldog or something like that. The mouth is too wide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to ask about a bulldog. Would you could squeeze its jowls together and try to...
Right. One, they already have breathing problems, and two, they're ugly.
You just don't want to do it because they're ugly.
Yeah, they're gross, dude.
Well, that was the best thing about Sunshine growing up. Sunshine was a collie.
Right.
And as far as being a protective dog for me, that dog could kick any dog's ass in the neighborhood. She was absolutely, when it came down to fighting, she would tear anyone a new one. From the Dobermans who were running, she hated this like Mastiff type dog.
Yeah.
That would always try to get her. She freaked that dog out. The dog ran away screaming and crying. I mean, when that dog clamped down on you, it was serious. Her mouth was that freaking long. Man.
Yeah.
It was like a damn shark's mouth.
Is that what she took off to go do? Just go kick some ass around the neighborhood?
She typically would not do that unless she was protecting me.
Which is weird. She doesn't like enough to stick around.
I'm about to say, now she's just patrolling the streets, taking every other dog's ass.
If I was walking home, those dogs would try to get. That's why we walked home as a group.
Yeah,
because everybody had dogs, and there were problematic dogs.
It's like a school of fish.
That you'd walk by,
safety in numbers.
You're talking about. You're walking by a guy's house that's got a couple acres. Then the next house down, they've got a couple acres. So that type of scenario, dogs roam free. But even if they had, a quarter-mile driveway, that didn't stop the dog from coming to the mailbox and meeting you when you were walking down the road.
Every time.
So, those dogs knew not to mess with her, but those dogs love messing with the kids. So when she walked with me, if anything happened, man, it was over quick.
Right.
But that dog, man, it had a mouth on it. Good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK.
Mike, a texter, how do you feel about pugs?
The same.
Really?
Yeah.
They are kind of...
The wife wants a pug, but I don't want a pug.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you want? If you had to get a dog...
You know what? I've come around to the small dog trend. I wouldn't mind a little Shih Tzu.
No Shih Tzu?
Yeah. Just a small dog. I used to be a bigger dog guy, and I still do love big dogs.
The Shih Tzus have the long hair, right?
Yeah.
Don't do that, man.
Man.
They just look stupid. I mean, like pugs.
You're not wrong,
Pugs
dude.
to me look like if Danny DeVito were a dog, that's what a pug would look like to me.
Talk about Steve the dog. Someone texted in, my neighbor's dog's name is Chad.
I know.
Chad. Good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK.
Oh, hello, Justin. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, fellow fathers.
Hola. Justin, what did you get? What did you order yourself for food?
Pick up the Family Panda Express, except for my oldest. I got to grab him a Happy Meal.
He doesn't eat Panda Express.
Nah, he's autistic, and he gets vaccinated now, and that's his safe food.
Okay, all right. Understand.
Yeah.
So what's your food experience?
So my food experience involves me not going to my sister's wedding because she didn't invite my wife because they got into a fight. And so I was like, sure, I'm not going to go either. But that worked out because my grandma wasn't able to go because my grandpa was in the hospital. Or not in the hospital. He got out of the hospital from dialysis, and he had a stroke, so someone needed to be there with him. So I got to go up to Canada, hang out with my grandpa, and I basically was his chauffeur. We went to Tim Hortons. We went to White Spot. We went to Dairy Queen to get some dilly bars, and then we went to it's closed now, but it's called the Cheshire Cheese, and it's a waterfront restaurant that it had the best French onion soup I have ever had in my entire life.
Yeah, that's enough to get me to go to a restaurant.
That's my sales pitch. Guys in Woodinville keep hitting me up about it, but next time I'm up there, I will go. But yeah, good French onion soup, man, I'm sold.
Oh, that is my kryptonite. I will do absolutely dirty things for that stuff.
I'm actually picturing you being Superman, and like they're firing bullets, nothing can stop you. Like, would you like some French onion soup? And finally, you're subdued.
If I was in a fight and I was Superman, I saw French onion soup a mile away. Yeah, I'm booking it. They can deal with it themselves.
So the good part about this story is you didn't have to go to a wedding and you got your soup?
The main memorable part was being able to hang out with my grandpa because, a couple of years later, he ended up did passing away. So that was my last, hurrah of, having a weekend with my grandpa.
That's awesome.
And you didn't have to go to a wedding. And you got good French onion soup. Dude, that is a win-win.
I wonder if people who have weddings know that no one really wants to go, but they are obligated.
They know. They've got to know because, look, if you're getting married, you've invited people to your wedding. People want to go to your wedding as much as you wanted to go to their weddings. And the simple truth is people show up at the wedding because they're waiting for the reception. The reception is the fun part. But during the wedding, we have to be quiet. And no offense to anyone, man. It's the same thing every time. It's like watching the same movie over. We know how it's going to begin. We know how it's going to end. We just want to get to the drinking part. So, Mike, I thank you. Your wedding was not long.
No.
It really wasn't. It's
wanted it to be a party.
And I get
do you
to
love
play
this person? Do you love this person? Kiss each other. All right, eat pizza and drink. And we're like, cool.
I get to play my favorite game, which is this suit that I wore 3 years ago the last time. Will it fit?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And then...
will it fit?
Right.
Will it fit?
Hey, where is it? Is there a dry cleaner in my neighborhood? Because I've never been. And then walk in and go, here, clean this. That's not my lifestyle.
That's generally how it goes, man. I'll wear a suit. My wife says it needs to be dry cleaned. Put it in the pile over here. I go, okay. Miles, as you're saying, about 3 years later, we address that pile that's now covered in dust, take it to the dry cleaner,
Again.
and wear it to the... Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to wear the suit again for a long...
And they put it on
time.
wire hangers, so if you don't wear the shirt right away, it's got this...
It's got that weird edge.
Looks like a hanger on top of your shoulders. Good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Jason. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
I got to say, I'm happy I didn't go on after the guy with the ticks. That was a tough act to follow.
Well, somebody pointed out they weren't ticks, they were aphids. I didn't bother to respond. Does that make anyone feel better?
No, you're eating bugs.
Yeah.
No, that's gross. So, you ever seen the movie Road Trip? Came out in like 2000.
Road Trip.
Who was in it?
I forget the guy's name, but his name was like Josh, and he fed a snake, a mouse, and his buddy was like the cool guy, and he went off on a road trip with his buddies. Anyways, it's a road trip, right? Anything you can and can't imagine happened on this road trip. And the reason I bring that up is when I was 19, my cousin was dating this guy who is like a brother to me now. They were about 17 or 18, I think. He's like, hey, do you want to drive to Maine to rake blueberries? And it's the summer of like 2001 or 2002. And I was like, sure, why not?
Drive from Seattle to Maine?
Yes, Terrell.
Okay, that was a haul.
For blueberries.
To rake them, nonetheless.
Okay.
So we drive from here, Seattle, and we start trekking to Maine. We stop in like Spokane, Montana, so on and so forth. And we finally make it there. We rake blueberries for the summer. And like I said, anything can and will happen on this road trip. I met two girls. One of their moms had Corvettes. We ended up driving their Corvettes, like classic Corvettes. We brought the one girl home with us. She stayed for a few months, ended up going back home later on. It was just crazy, man. But when you start talking about memorable food moments, I've tried to think of a memorable food moment that stuck out the most.
A summer of raking blue. Would you do it again?
At my age, at 41, hell no.
Oh, okay.
All right. What were they paying you?
So they paid you per box. And if I remember right, it was something like $18 a box or something like that. And I don't know what they made.
That's not bad money.
Good.
Well, how many boxes a day would you average?
So it was like a competition, right? Because the guy next to you and the guy, you can see how many boxes you're raking. So you try to rake more boxes and you tag them with your tag. At the end of the day, you get 50, 60, 80 boxes, whatever it is. At the end of the week, they pay you.
Damn.
At this point, I'd be lying if I told you what I could rake because I forgot. But I do know my first day, I was laying on the ground in agony. It was the most back-breaking work I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
But at the end of that summer, I was just shredded, like Bruce Lee shredded. I looked great.
I don't go to the gym. I rake blueberries.
That's getting changed. That's blueberries.
It was an amazing experience.
That's all right, man. That's all right.
Once again, bedroom callers, here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio.
Had to get it out there.
Sucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now, back to the program.
Good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK.
I will say, I'm going through my head, like, what's memorable involving food? It involves food, and it involves radio, and there are things that we learned earlier on in our career about the do's and don'ts of radio. Because in our mind, since it's not a visual medium, it doesn't matter what's happening in the studio, right? Like, we can tell you anything we want, but you can't see it, so who could it possibly offend? But we had a porn star named Sunset Thomas come and visit us back in Baltimore. And based on where the studio was, we did cover our windows with newspaper because every once in a while they give people tours. And it's a porn star. We don't know what to expect. Well, I'm glad we covered the windows because as soon as she walked into the studio, she's completely naked and she sits on the console. So she's facing us with her legs spread the whole time. Right? She's having a good time with this. We're having a good time with this. It was actually a really fun interview. It's the first time we met Dennis Hoff. So toward the end of the interview, she breaks out a banana, and you can guess where she places it, right? And that part of the female anatomy that lets us know she is, in fact, a female. But half of it's sticking out. And she kind of jokingly says, do you want a bite? So I took a bite, right? No big deal. Then the rest is popped out. She hands it to Miles. He eats that other half.
Sure did.
Because we're like, cool. Well, apparently that's a big no-no. We finished the show. Our boss calls us into the office. The first thing he says is, are you effing stupid? And I said, well, when you ask it like that, it leads me to believe that the answer is yes. What's up? He said the whole banana thing. And honestly, we really do. Nobody saw it. It's like, you were describing it in detail on the radio, the other boss, by the way, who's not currently here,
he's on his way to fire us.
To fire you.
So basically,
get
he says
out of the building.
You need to leave here now.
Right now.
If you want me to try to keep your job, you cannot be here. You need to leave. And I'll call you and let you know if you're coming in tomorrow.
All over a banana.
Right.
I couldn't believe it, man. And you know what? I would do it again because that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
How in the world did he convince him to let you guys keep your job?
I don't know, but I will say the next day when we came into work, and I thought for sure we were going to get fired. It was 8 a.m. I walked in, and all of the other radio studios, we had 3 or 4 of the radio stations there, they had all covered their windows of newspaper
in solidarity
with us.
Yeah.
And I think that's what got us off the hook.
Good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With the $5 meal deal at McDonald's, you pick a McDouble or a McChicken, then get a small fry, a small drink, and a 4-piece McNuggets. That's a lot of McDonald's for not a lot of money.
Price and participation may vary. For a limited time only.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
It's time to dust off your glove, grab your bat, and hit the road for some baseball. But before you head to the game, make sure your ride is in top shape. At Axton Automotive, our skilled mechanics ensure your vehicle is running smoothly so you can focus on cheering for your team. Don't strike out this spring. Get your car ready for baseball season. Visit AxtonAutomotive.com or call 360-685-7976.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Coming up, we'll drink and toast in the weekend with a shot of the day that is Bad Choice Friday.
It's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. You know it's Bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault.
And we salute Dad on a Bad Choice Friday with Madonna. Madonna and Papa Don't Preach taking on James Brown.
Papa's got a brand new bag.
He's excited about that bag, brother.
Hot tub.
I can feel that bag had cocaine in it.
Vote now if you follow us on Twitter at Men's Room Live. Will it be James Brown or Madonna coming up on a Bad Choice Friday? We actually brought this up on the Appy Hour that hopefully you got this morning on the Odyssey app. But as far as finding dad songs, it was tough. Compared to songs about mom, I love my mom, mom's greatest thing in the world, blah, 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 blah.
You write a song about your dad, you're like, F him, he was horrible, and here's the story.
Mike in the Mechanic's living years, like, he's dead, but, I never talked to him anyway, so who cares?
Right.
Cats in the Cradle, my dad was an ass, now I'm an ass to my kid.
I mean, isn't Janie's got a gun about her dad,
Janie's
too?
got a gun, yeah. She shot her dad. But no one talks smack about their mother.
Papa was Rolling Stone. He wasn't staying at home very often.
Yeah.
Because he was always somewhere else.
Bob was getting laid on the road.
His house was his home. Wherever he was, that's where he stayed.
Yeah, you're right, man. All the songs about mothers, real upbeat, real positive.
Nice.
Songs about dads, like I say, Janie got a gun. She killed her father. Cool.
Tears in heaven. We got to keep going on. Either way, vote now on a Bad Choice Friday. Madonna or James Brown if you follow us on Twitter at Men's Room Live. Okay, here's a weird one for you on our question. Denmark just banned TikTok's favorite brand of ramen noodles and claimed they are so spicy they could be deadly. It is a Korean brand called Samyang. They banned three versions, including one called Buldak Hot Chicken Ramen 3 times spicy. Then there's Bulldog and another that's 2 times spicy. Now, the Ministry of Food in Denmark announced they pulled them for having too much capsaicin. Capsaicin.
Yeah.
It's the stuff that gives peppers their heat.
Yeah.
All right. They claim the amount in a single pack is so high, there is a risk you could develop acute poisoning. Only Denmark is banning them. You can still get them in a grocery store here in the U.S. or order this stuff on Amazon.
Well, sure. I mean, look at the crap we eat. Probably, you're fine.
They've been around since 2012, went viral a few years ago, thanks to the Fire Noodles Challenge. They blew up again this past March after Cardi B tried some of the brand's noodles on TikTok as well. Okay. They've been banned in Denmark. Our question, good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK.
No offense to Denmark, but saying like you're banned from Denmark, like,
Okay.
It's like of all the countries in the world, it's kind of like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm banned from, you're not a badass to say I got banned from Denmark. I'm saying, who cares?
Yeah. When we first got here, we were on The Buzz at Nights, which was a radio station for guys, which is now 100.7 The Wolf. We were on at night. It was called The Buzz. And we were doing all these just dumb challenges with each other to entertain ourselves. And at some point in time, we read something that said basically, it's possible to drink a gallon of milk in whatever time limit it was.
They said that the word was scientifically, it has been proven that you cannot consume a gallon of whole milk in less than 1 hour.
So Ted said, I could drink a gallon of milk in an hour. We're like, game on. Let's do it. So we were on until 11 o'clock. So I think at 10 o'clock or so, Ted starts drinking the milk, right? And he gets it. I mean, he
did it like 57 minutes.
Yeah, he nails it. Challenge over.
Yeah, prove science wrong.
Now we have to walk up Boren. We were down at the bottom of Boren. Boren's a pretty good trek if you know anything about that street. Oh, yeah. But our apartment is all the way on top of the hill in First Hill. So we'd gotten pretty well in shape to be able to walk that. It wasn't a big deal. We'd smoke cigarettes walking up of it. Actually, it didn't seem as bad then as it probably would be now if your legs aren't fresh to it.
I would not want to do it now, yes.
But we could not get Ted out of the bathroom.
That's the thing. When we left, Ted was in the stall. I'm like, dude, you all right? He's like, yeah, man, I'm just pooping, because I drank a gallon of whole milk. Like, all right, no worries. We'll meet you back at the apartment.
Yeah. And so then we go to the bar, and we're still waiting for Ted. And now it's about 12:45. Keep in mind, we left at 11.
Yeah. And my wife does not live here yet, and we were on the phone, and I told her, I'm like, oh, no, we had a really fun show today, but Ted drank the gallon of whole milk in under an hour. She said, is he okay? I said, well, I don't know. She goes, what do you mean? I said, well, look, man, me and Miles left, and he was sitting on the toilet. And she's like, you didn't check on him? Like, what do you want me to do?
We checked on him. He said he's fine.
And she's like, well, but you guys finished at 11. That's the thing. I go, right. She's like, well, it's really late. Have you seen him? I said, no. I'm just assuming he's still on the toilet.
So
I don't know.
apparently what happens after you drink a gallon of milk is you basically just
poop it all out.
Spray chalk, so to speak. It's not even liquid. It is basically like if you took a talcum powder and went poof, and squeezed the bottle and just it went poof. And I guess every time that he felt like he needed to, use the bathroom, it was just this poof of chalk that was shooting out his butt.
This calcium-enriched chalk.
So he didn't want to go out because it kept happening to him. Because he had the fart so bad, but every time he did, he just blew chalk in his pants. Good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK.
Oh, it's our biggest dummy. Hello, Pam. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bichola.
Hola.
How you guys doing?
We're doing great. It's a positive Friday, Pam.
Right on. Okay, so when I was younger, I took forever to eat. I would take 2 hours to eat a half a sandwich. Well, my mom made me dinner one night, and it was some meat-type substance, and I literally chewed on one piece of meat in my mouth for over an hour, and she finally got mad and sent me to bed. I was so insistent on not swallowing that meat. I woke up in the morning with it still in my mouth.
Ew, man. You get
Do you have a weird food thing, Pam?
Well, more so that I just didn't want what she was telling me.
All right. Do you still eat slow? Do you eat, noticeably slower than the people around you?
Yes, and I usually end up taking leftovers home if we go out to eat.
Is it because everyone else is kind of on the... Because I do this with my daughter. My daughter eats exceptionally slow, so we end up with takeout, not because we couldn't finish the meal, but everyone else has finished the meal, has eaten dessert. I'm now 4 beers deep and half a piece of pizza. And she's chewing the whole time. But it's like, all right, baby, we have to go. So we're just going to take the rest of your food home. She just eats slower than hell.
Kids have so many weird food peculiarities.
Everything.
I don't know if your tongue gets numb over time or your taste buds are more sensitive growing up.
But it's texture. It's so my daughter, all right, yesterday she'd go home early from school, even though today was the last day of school, but she couldn't make it in. She had a fever of 102 degrees. So I get home, I go into her room after work, because I know she's sick, and the room's hot, the radiating heat, man. And I'm talking to her, and everything I'm saying to her, her response is like this. I'm like, baby, you feeling all right? I don't feel good. I don't know. My legs hurt. I said, okay, your legs hurt too? Yeah, they really hurt bad. I said, all right, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to grab you an Advil, and that'll make some of the pain go away. And instantly, I don't like pills. I was like the extra.
Her head spun around.
Yeah, I was like, holy S. So I said, look, baby, I know you don't like pills. Nobody really loves pills, but if you feel that bad, I'm just telling you, this will help with the pain. Again, I do not want pills. It is noted. Okay. So I just said, look, I'm not going to make you do it, but you're going to sit here and it's going to hurt. Yep. That's all I can tell you. And she's like, but as soon as she didn't have to defend the pill thing, she was back to this again. And I just feel so bad. And I was saying to Miles today, and I feel bad, man. She's just not feeling great. But this morning, before I leave for work, just going there to check on her. Her fever broke a little bit, but she's still talking like this. So I have to get all close to her. Man, I cannot. Morning breath mixed with being sick. Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, my God.
It's not even morning breath. It's kid breath.
It's kid breath, morning breath, sick breath, all rolled into one, but I had to get real close to hear what her little weak voice was saying. And I didn't want to break her heart and say, Jesus, Mama, can you suck on Alonzo? Instead, I just said, okay, I'll tell you what. I'll feel better. I'll just see you after work. But I'm like, my God, man.
I was a weekend dad warrior, so I had my kids on a Friday night. I will never forget this. My youngest daughter, Ava, she comes up, gives me a hug, and it was just this wall of just funk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, my God. I was like, Ava, I need you to be serious with me. When was the last time you brushed your teeth? And she's hemming and hawing, and she's like, Wednesday morning. And I'm like, it's Friday night, dude. Go up there and brush your teeth now.
Right. Do
now. God almighty. And she came back down after brushing her teeth, didn't even cut through. No. It's still...
Really?
Oh, God, no. She had 3 days of funk in there.
Dude, we had a guy, an old producer back in Baltimore, and this guy, chronic halitosis, does not begin to explain how bad this guy's breath was. And he was notorious for it, but he was a cool guy, so he never really said anything.
Well, he made his own meth.
That was part.
So he had, his...
Not he used to, Mike.
He made it.
He used to make his own meth, and we think maybe that he was very open about it.
Oh, yeah, that'll make meth. Smoke it, whatever. But his teeth were rotting out of his mouth.
And his breath was ridiculous. So there's a day we're in the studio, and Mike, he'd be sitting where you are, so basically across from Miles and I.
Yes.
We're not on the air yet. Everyone's just in the studio. We're finishing prep for the show, and his breath is just filling the studio, man. And then we kind of glance up, and we realize his mouth is closed. It's coming out of his nose. I'm not kidding.
By the way, his wife was a smoke show.
And his wife was the hottest thing you've ever seen. We cannot figure it out.
Yeah, it's just like, this math problem can't be solved.
She has to have no sense of smell. I mean, seriously.
This guy's got a baby's arm holding an apple hanging from him. Like, what is happening here?
She's like our buddy Miggs that doesn't have a sense of smell.
It had to be. Like, seriously, he was a nice dude, but if he talked to you, and it didn't matter how far away you were from him, it just found you. Clung to your face like the alien face hugger.
Good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Davey. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
How's that Seattle wind treating you guys?
Oh, it's blowing down here probably harder than any other location in town.
It blows here, too.
Where are you?
I'm in Linwood.
Ah, okay.
So this was about 20 years ago. Drove down from the Denver area to Las Vegas. Spent a couple days there. Stayed at the San Remo Casino. That eventually became the Hooters Casino.
Ah, okay.
And, the big promenade thing outside said $5.99 prime rib. And it was our last day there. And on our way out, we got the prime rib. And so we're leaving, and I have to take a leak really bad. And there are no rest areas outside of Vegas. So we stop, and there's one sagebrush. And as I was taking that leak, my posterior fired a warning shot. And I ran back to the car, and there were no napkins. There was nothing, and things were getting dire. But, there's these little things that you used to be able to get, like, in the newsstands called, like, the Thrifty Nickel.
Yeah.
And they'd have, like, old used cars and things like that. So there was one of those on the floor, and I grabbed that and spackled that sagebrush. And, man, food poisoning is one of those things that, like, it makes a good excuse to get out of work. But in real life, when you have an 11-hour road trip to home, that's hard.
How many more times did you poop, though? Because one thing about food poisoning is it is relentless until it is done.
I can't count, but there were several rest areas after that initial wave. They all kind of got the roadside rest area treatment.
Yeah. Hey, man, $5.99 prime rib. There's a reason it was that cheap.
Yep.
And now you know.
Good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Rob. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So, back in 2009, I was stationed in Japan and lived in Atsugi, and there was a sushi restaurant by the train station there, and me and my wife have been to it a few times, and they have an aquarium in there where they keep live food, right? And so I could eat my body weight in sushi, man. That's one of my top 3 favorite foods in Japan: is sushi, ramen, or curry.
All right.
And so I'm talking to my wife. We're eating, and she's like. And I asked her, I was like, hey, can we order a fish from the aquarium over there? And she's like, yeah, you want to? And I'm like, sure, why not? And so we order it, and the Japanese chef is like, okay. And he just fishes one out, scoops one out, and then he immediately proceeds to fillet it alive.
Jesus.
And I'm just like, are you kidding right now? He didn't even knock it out or anything, just filleted it alive. And, it's all flopping on the table and whatnot. And, they finish filleting it. They put a bamboo skewer through the center of the body, through the head. So it's kind of like a U shape, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And they present it on a bamboo serving tray.
and there's 6 pieces of sushi on this thing, and when they put it on the table, I kid you not, man, the mouth of the fish was moving, like it was like open, like doing a like gasping for air kind of thing.
Take me to the river.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And like I have literally its body right in front of me, and I'm eating its body as I'm looking at this fish, like gasping for air. And then I'm feeling horrible the entire time I'm eating this fish, man. And they're like all of a sudden it starts like literally jerking around on the like I guess there's still some kind of activity left, and I don't know, man. But it was pretty traumatizing to say the least.
I don't think I've ever had warm sushi. Like to have the fish warm, it's always
tough,
it's always
man.
chilled.
You said it was tough?
Yeah, it was tough. I guess it was stress induced. I don't know. But like normally when you eat sushi, it kind of like falls apart in your mouth when you chew it a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this meat was like tough. It was like chewing on a piece of rubber almost.
So it's not even the best sushi, and the fish that it came from is gasping for air on your plate.
Yeah, as I'm eating its body in front of it.
Right.
Good God, man.
Here. I don't know if you've ever experienced this. My daughter was over there for 6 months or so, living and teaching and stuff, and she lived with a host family. So the host family, just like anything else, you're not going to be disrespectful for whatever's on on dinner and on the plate and everything else. And everything she said, most of the food that she loved, without question, and trying a lot of different things she never had before. But she asked the host mom at one point in time what they were having for dinner tonight, and she did not speak almost any English. She knew certain things,
sure,
but the communication was a little bit tough with her. I believe the host father spoke more English, and they were that was kind of Kate's pipeline to be able to talk to somebody, communicate. And so she asked the mom about what type of fish is this, and the woman goes, SeaWorld.
Like dolphin?
So my daughter didn't know what aspect she was talking about.
SeaWorld is a lot of things.
SeaWorld?
But don't you think sea mammal first when you think SeaWorld?
It could have been a porpoise, could have been a whale. She deducted all the things that it could have been. She's very fatty, but not terrible.
I mean, look, man, it's Japan, right?
Well, the Cove and all that stuff.
Right? Because they're still with dolphins, whales, everything. SeaWorld.
It looks a lot like tuna, but fatty.
What do you guess that is? Porpoise?
I would guess.
I just like when the answer is, what kind of seafood is this?
Seafood.
Think SeaWorld, okay?
SeaWorld.
And that's all you need to know.
SeaWorld. God.
Oh, did she do the hand motion? Oh, okay, dude. That's either a killer whale,
That's a whale,
or a dolphin.
dude. That's a doggone orca whale.
If she does the hand motion to show it's jumping. Oh, my
Free
God.
freaking Willy.
Good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
99.9 KISW. The men's room returns with Miles and Thrill.
All right, so coming up, every miss so far this year on Ted versus the FCC. That's on the way right after emails from our question, good or bad. What was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK.
One quick text here. It says, what was it? One of my earliest memories from childhood, I'd climb on the countertops in the kitchen where I discovered my mom's secret stash of chocolate. It was dark chocolate, and I didn't really like it like I like milk chocolate. Seemed a little off to me, but I come to find out it was chocolate-flavored X-Lax.
Oh, no. I thought it was going to be baking chocolate.
Nope. X-Lax. I ate the whole bar, and the solution was syrup, which makes you throw up. So there was my earliest memory, sitting on the toilet and going out of both ends. Must have been 4 or 5 years old. I still remember it to this day. I'm 57 years old now. I do not eat dark chocolate. Yeah, boy, the X-Lax. Hello, Colton. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Okay, so mine is, I was with my girlfriend at the time, and we had decided to order in some pizza, and we got the meat lovers, and I got all the way to the last slice, and then something just got stuck in my throat. Felt like it was stuck in my chest. Couldn't get it out. She ended up rushing me to the urgent care, and when we got there, they said that I had 3 dislocated ribs and I had fractured a rib, and apparently that caused the food to get stuck in like my esophagus.
Wait, you didn't know that you had fractured ribs?
I had no idea.
Do you know how you fractured it? I mean, could you think back and say, oh, this must have happened when I did blank?
Oh, I know exactly how I fractured something. So they teach you in high school about things, but they don't tell you that there's a thing is too much sex.
Oh, so you broke your ribs having sex?
Yeah.
All right.
Good Lord, man.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing, but I wouldn't do it again.
I would do it differently.
Yeah, change the way your game's played.
Good Lord, man.
Good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Jesse. Welcome to the men's room.
Thanks, guys. Happy Father's Day weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hold up.
All right, so my story. Many years ago, I was about 10 years old, traveling the country with my dad. He was a semi-truck driver. So we stopped at a Greasy Spoon for breakfast. We both got biscuits and gravy with eggs. I'll never forget that. Anyway, we're tearing into our food, and I happened to flip one of my biscuits upside down, and literally the bottom of the plate is just covered in these tiny little hairs, just covered in hair.
Oh, God.
I couldn't handle it. I immediately, 10 years old, I threw up. I threw up on my plate. The waitress comes over and cleans it up, and my dad's apologizing profusely. Tips her really well, and, without missing a beat, my dad just says, well, that's why I don't look at my food.
Well, I wonder where the hairs came from.
I think it was the cook, because I did look in the back, and it was just, this grandmotherly, hefty looking lady with like buzzed hair. So she may have just literally gotten a haircut that day and scratched her head or something, but it was definitely from the lady who put in the food.
So it wasn't a hair in your food. You had hairy food.
Exactly.
The worst one, though, is when you see a little hair on your plate and you start pulling on it and you realize it's baked into the food.
9 inches
it's
long.
Like this big-ass black hair. You just keep pulling and pulling and pulling. It's like a clown scarf.
Yeah, this was just dozens of tiny little hairs.
Ew, man. That bugs me.
Good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK.
Although speaking of hair, in a kitchen where it shouldn't be, years ago, again, back in Baltimore, I run into the little kitchen. I'm getting something out of the vending machine, and one of our coworkers, sales lady, walks in, older black lady. She's like, baby, what is that? And she points into the sink, and in the sink, there is a Tupperware container about half full of water, and all across the top of it is hair. Okay, well, so this is a fair question, but she looks disgusted, as she should. Keep in mind, it's during a commercial break. I got to get back. Right, got to get back to the studio. I can't remember her name, but I'm like, Aquila. I said, Aquila, I'm going to tell you what this is, but don't freak out. I said, no, what is that? I said, that's Miles's ass hair. He shaved his ass. And
no! Well, I bet with Ted.
Yeah, she was like, I'm like, I got to go back to the studio, man. We'll talk about it later. But she was disgusted. Baby, you have long ass hair. That's what was amazing.
Well, I had never really shaved my ass before.
Well, I know. I just didn't realize how long ass hair could be because I'm like, I remember you shaving your ass because you lost the bet. And I knew that the razor, rinsing it off in the Tupperware container, but they were really long hairs, man.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it bugged her.
Why did he shave his ass, baby?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Tara. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Happy early Father's Day for y'all.
Hey, thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Tara.
So a couple years back, I went to a barbecue at my brother's house. He's a butcher, and so we had all the greatest food out there. And I saw a wall of blackberries. So I thought I would rummage his cupboards, and I threw together a blackberry cobbler. And after we ate dinner and then had our dessert with ice cream, it was delicious. We were packing it all up. And as I was packing up the cobbler, I saw a massive amount of little, I guess, fly maggots crawling around after we had eaten it and after it had already been baked.
Now,
so they were still alive, or just were the maggots still alive?
Yes, they were little tiny white, like, I don't know, little baby fruit fly maggot.
Did you share this information with anyone, or did you just keep your mouth shut?
Yes. I told everyone to stop eating, but pretty much we had already finished.
Well, how did it taste, other than the maggots?
The blackberry cobbler was great, but I was horrified after thinking that there was little crawling things that managed to last through the entire baking process.
That's my question. Like, why did you tell everyone? Because in the end, like, everyone's just enjoying the meal. You said you knocked it out of the park. It was good. Because my thought process would be like, all right, if I'm in the kitchen with Miles, like, hey, man, look, they're almost done eating it anyway and no one's noticed. Everyone likes it. It's good. If we tell them this, there's going to be vomit. There's going to be all this stuff. I probably just would have kept my mouth shut.
I don't know. I guess ignorance is bliss. But
I was going to say, would you want to know? Say you're eating my blackberry cobbler and Tara, you're thinking, man, this is delicious. I'm going to eat every last bite. You have not noticed the maggots. Would you want me to walk out of the kitchen and say, Tara, bad news. You're also eating maggots?
I guess not if I haven't seen them.
That's all I'm saying, man. Yeah, just sometimes just keep people in the dark. It's for their own good.
Good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Joel. Welcome to the men's room. Hello, Joel.
No Joel.
Which is odd. Hello, Jim. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, is this you?
If you mean the men's room, yes.
All right, cool. All right, this food experience happened like a month ago. All right. You like corn dogs?
I do.
Frozen ones?
I guess.
Sure. Okay. Had a frozen hot corn dog, threw it in the microwave, bit into it. Boy, this thing tastes like yuck. Tossed it away, didn't think much about it. Tuesday, I had to have had food poisoning because my body's rejecting both ways. Your girl Rebecca Lee told me to go to the doctor. Said, no, I ain't doing that. It's food poisoning. Leave me alone. Wednesday, I had finished with everything. Nothing was happening. But she kept bugging me, so I went to the doctor. Take x-rays, comes back, says, you need to go to the hospital. For what? Well, you might have a small bowel obstruction. I tell you what, I'll go to if I feel worse tomorrow, I'll go. Do you know, he called my doctor and they made me go into the hospital.
Now, oddly enough, I did know that one, yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Well, you asked, did you know? So I'm like, yeah, I did know that part.
Yeah, so for 4 days, I had a tube shoved up my nose and into my stomach, and I couldn't do anything.
All over one bite of a corn dog, huh?
Hey, they said it was small bowel obstruction. I said it was food poisoning. You know what the irony is?
What's that?
Went and saw the doctor on Tuesday, and she goes, well, you know, there was no conclusive evidence of what was going on. I'm thinking to myself, you guys are sadistic. That's why you're in the medical field.
Yes, that is why they're in the medical
How much
field.
did that corn dog cost you? By the time it was all said and done.
I don't know. I haven't got the bills yet.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. You said it just happened.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
I heard corn dog.
I don't know. Yeah,
I almost got a corn dog today.
Corn dogs are great. How can you mess up a corn
Well,
dog?
that's the thing. I tried to. I was going to get lunch from one place, but apparently that building was on fire. I'm guessing, Mike. So you know the secret tunnel over to the other building. All right. So I get off the elevator, and there is now, for the first time that I've ever seen, a big metal grate that won't let you pass. The lights are flashing, and the fire alarm guy is doing this. There has been a fire. So, and it says, please don't use the elevator. So what did I do? Went back to the elevator, came back over
Not
here.
those elevators.
Yeah, I'm going to use this one. And then ended up going over to the $20 sandwich place.
Gotcha.
It was $23 today. But anyway, I was debating what to eat, but they had a big thing of corn dogs in there. Right? Because they put random crap up there. Yeah, and I really debated getting a corn dog today. Then I'm like, man, I don't feel like eating a corn
I
dog.
love a corn dog,
I
though,
do
dude.
too.
I might have bitten that one.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, they got them over there. I'm
All right,
sure
now,
they're like $100.
I know there are purists out there that say that, look, if you're going to have a regular hot dog, the ketchup does not belong on a hot dog.
I would agree with that.
There's people out there who just say that that's a no-no. I ketchup and mustard on a hot dog that comes off the grill to me, fantastic. I have no problem with that. But there are purists
As
out
long
there.
as you have both. My wife does not put mustard on her hot dog. She puts ketchup on her hot dog, and she's a vile, disgusting
Like if I go
creature.
to a ball game, ketchup, mustard, and relish. If that,
Really?
I'll do.
I'm mustard ends.
Well, okay, but with a corn dog, if you dip that thing in ketchup, we would almost have to stand up and address each other.
What?
A corn
Do
dog.
you
is
dip it in ketchup?
No, but
Oh.
if you did, that's crossing the line.
Really?
Wait, you put ketchup on your hot dog. Would you eat ketchup on your hot dog without the mustard? Or
No, I want mustard. But what I'm
Okay,
saying
all
is,
right.
if you have a corn dog and you dip that in ketchup, those are fighting words.
Well, strap on the gloves, Montgomery.
Wait a minute.
Ketchup does not belong on a corn dog.
You don't put ketchup on your hot dog, Mike, but you do put it on your corn
No,
dog?
I put it on everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Even,
Well, if you
would
put
you
it on
eat
everything.
just ketchup on a hot dog with no mustard?
I want mustard on my hot
Okay,
dog.
see, I
corn
give a
dog is
little allowance
corn
for
dog
that.
is mustard only.
No.
Yes.
It can
That's why
do
when they give
fine.
when they give you a corn dog, they give you a little
Right,
pack
they
of
even give
mustard.
you
I'm aware, and it goes fine with just the mustard, but also just ketchup works great for it too.
Corn dog, man.
Man, that's terrible.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm weird about my wiener.
Corn dog purists in here.
Seriously. Yeah. Ketchup does not belong on a corn dog.
I don't believe it belongs on a hot dog. And you like
I
Del
don't
Monte
either.
ketchup.
I don't either.
Even worse.
That's why he doesn't like it on a corn dog.
It's yellow mustard only. There's no other kind. There's 9 million kinds of mustard. It's yellow crab mustard.
I don't know,
on a corn
man.
dog.
What about like a honey mustard?
Honey mustard, stone ground.
'Cause honey goes
I'm
good with
telling you,
cornbread,
It
so I would
really
think-
does. Miles, I'm telling you, man.
All right, I'll
some
give it a
honey
try.
mustard. Yeah, it's going to change your freaking life, dude.
I'll try that next time.
Good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK.
A lot of people agree with you, Miles. No ketchup on a corn dog, mustard only. Mustard on a corn dog for sure. Yeah, I'm tracking with them, man. Hello, Sam. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Happy Father's Day, Johnny.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, so this is going to be one of those kind of bartender's stories that I took to my grave with me, but it's just, it's too good or too bad not to share.
I can either take it to my grave or tell tens of thousands of people on the radio. I like your style, Sam.
This one out for sure. So I was working at a high-end wine bar and restaurant. And, I mean, we did great food, incredible wine.
And snooty ass
never-
customers.
Absolutely. You have no idea, but also some of the best. But if you'd been in the place, which, never know, you might have, you would think that it was, as clean as could be, and it did appear that way. But we ended up getting an awful infestation of roaches.
Cool.
And so our owner was doing what he could and paying a service, and it wasn't doing anything. And so we had gotten pretty good in the habit of, acrobatic spotting these things on the walls once in a while or anywhere and trying to get them before customers could ever see them. And, we'd done pretty well. But one night we had customers at the bar right in front of us, and one of our regulars was sitting there, probably half a bottle of red wine in, and I see on the outside of his wine glass one of them crawling up the wine glass and down into the wine.
Ooh.
And as soon as we see this, I have a coworker, we make eye contact and see this, he picks it up and takes a big drink.
And immediately he spits it out into his hand. Like, oh my Lord, there's a bug in this. And I have we're terrified. We have no idea what to do because what's everyone going to start doing is taking pictures. So I have to jump over the counter basically and grab it out of his hand as he's trying to inspect what it is. And we end up, long story short, convincing him that it's a wine beetle, which only come in some of the rarest bottles of wine, best wine.
Oh, my God.
And it's something that's really, really lucky. And so for the rest of the night, he finishes the bottle of wine, and it turns into this big thing where we're telling everybody, and people are applauding him. He got the lucky wine beetle. And for us, it was our secret we're never going to tell, but really he just had a cockroach in his mouth.
Hey, tell me you work in PR now.
That was a heads-up move.
Right?
Is there even such a thing as a wine beetle?
There actually is. There is. It's not something you really want, but they can get during the bottling process.
Okay.
They're not lucky. You don't hope to ever have them in there, but
Only on the very expensive.
We knew enough about it.
In the finest bottles of wine where you find the beetle.
Sam, I like your line of thinking.
wine.
See, I will tell you what.
Great.
If I opened a restaurant and you were interviewing for the job and you told me that story, you are hired on the spot.
If you are that quick thinking on your feet.
Yeah. Just like, oh my God, look how lucky he is. I'm seriously, man, because now, but here's the flip side of this. You realize that this guy that you told this to, he's going to tell all of his snooty wine drinking friends, I'm one of the few lucky people that got a wine beetle in my mouth.
Oh, he did, and he posted it to Facebook and everything. He's a big Facebook person, which is why I knew I had to immediately get it from him before he could take the picture to post with his story.
God damn. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sam, you'd have a job in my place in a heartbeat.
Save the day. Good or bad, what was your most memorable experience involving food? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Gary. Welcome to the men's room.
Well, how you guys doing?
Hola, doing great. Thanks, Gary.
Bitches and whores.
Why not?
Okay, so I come home one day from work, and I love canned smoked oysters, so I crack open a can of smoked oysters, and the cat is just my girlfriend's cat, of all things, is just going crazy around me and everything like this, So I eat all the oysters, and I hear, well, what the heck, I put the can down there, and boy, that cat just went after that oil. So a little bit later, not even about 10 minutes later, I opened up another can. I couldn't keep the cat away from me the whole time. So I put that can down and let him. And I always thought, God, what would it be like to drink that oil? Because I love oysters so much. So the girlfriend comes home. She's not home 10 minutes, and the cat's by the front door just wailing and wailing. And the first thing girlfriend goes, what'd you do to my cat? And I go, I didn't do nothing. Nothing. It's probably got to go to the bathroom. So cat goes out, jumps about 8 feet of stairs, goes out there, takes a 4-point stance, and its tail up like it's taxidermy, and just blows out of its rear end. It looked like a bazooka. And not less than 30 seconds later, I feel this big old wet spot on the whole back of my leg. My girlfriend is puking on the back side of me. And I mean, this cat shot, I am not kidding you, 4 feet.
Her puke or the cat?
That happened. Huh?
The cat's turds.
Her puke or the cat's turds? Yeah.
The cat from the oil. I didn't know that. The cat would shoot that oil like that. I mean, it shot like 4 feet. And I mean, within 30 seconds of that cat doing that, she's going, oh my God. And then all of a sudden, blah, blah, all over the backside of me.
Yeah. I'm picturing that you use that cat as a super soaker.
I'm glad we asked this question today.
Yay. A lot of people are.
Thank you, Miles.
Exciting return of Ted versus the FCC coming up, and we've got your emails up next for the men's room at KISW.com.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
It's time to dust off your glove, grab your bat, and hit the road for some baseball. But before you head to the game, make sure your ride is in top shape. At Axton Automotive, our skilled mechanics ensure your vehicle is running smoothly so you can focus on cheering for your team. Don't strike out this spring. Get your car ready for baseball season. Visit AxtonAutomotive.com or call 360-685-7976.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All right, coming up, we'll drink and toast the weekend with a shot of the day. Then it's Bad Choice Friday.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. You know it's Bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault.
Jam on. And a salute to Dad on a Bad Choice Friday featuring Madonna. Baby, she keeping it. Madonna and Papa Don't Preach singing on Mr. James Brown.
Papa's got a brand new bag of cocaine.
That's how good it is.
Wow. Burn the nose up. Got the dripping off back of my throat. Oh, yeah. Taste it. James, I'm going to be hungry. Wow. James got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
James Brown, but you just went to the bathroom.
Yeah. James going back. I got to pee again. Got a bad prostate.
Why do you always pee in the stall?
Don't ask questions.
James Brown and Papa's got a brand new bag. Take it on Madonna and Papa Don't Preach. Those are your choices on a Bad Choice Friday. Vote now if you follow us on Twitter at Men's Room Live. Okay, let's see here. Do we have time for a few emails from the men's room at KISW.com?
Hit it.
A couple of birthdays today. Guys, happy 23rd trip around the sun to Danielle Perez. I hope life brings you many blessings and adventures. That from Richard. How about little kid fish sandwich and maybe a big long fart there for Danielle?
Turns the ladies on every time.
Yeah, there's no request for anything.
Enjoy.
Pacholo, shout out to my little nephew, Benny. Calling him little makes him sound like he's 8, but believe it or not, 31 years old today. Benny is stationed in Dover, Delaware with the Air Force.
I'm sorry.
Got hooked on your show years ago after visiting me in Index. He's such a fan that whenever he's in town, he's on the hunt for the Men's Room IPA. Hope to see you back in Seattle soon to check out the Underground Tour. Cheers to you and happy birthday, Benny, from your Aunt Kristen. He hopes to hear Coach Ted and Bruce Willis with a roof that don't leak. Thanks, guys. No Coach Ted in the house today, but we do have Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Bruce Willis came in today.
I'm glad that he showed up for work.
Yeah.
I know. Well, Ted said, hey, man, I got to fly to this wedding. He called Bruce. Hey, man, can you go in?
Yeah.
Just sing for me.
This one says, Hola, gentlemen, and Ted. You guys did such a great job with my shout-out last year, even if Miles messed up on the thought of the day, that I would request another. This will be my 50th trip around the giant fireball in the sky, so if I could get the captain talking about turning 50, some dad jokes from Miles, that would be awesome. Keep on rocking, y'all. Regards, that from the Wagon Master from Woodbridge, since Miles can't pronounce my other alias.
Ooh, well, ahoy there. Congratulations on reaching the half-century mark. You should throw yourself a big old party, like Lucky the Leprechaun did when he turned 50. His 50th birthday, that was the stuff of legend right there for us mascots and law enforcement. They certainly had their hands full after Little Debbie served up some oatmeal cream pies laced with bath salts that she stole from a legless hobo in Kazakhstan. After eating those, things got downright freaky. Crunch Bears.
Dad Joke Friday, Father's Day weekend. Dad Joke Friday.
Perfect.
Got a bunch for you. Guys, why don't lobsters give to charity?
Because they're shellfish.
They're shellfish. How do you find out the weight of a red hot chili pepper? How do you find out how heavy a red hot chili pepper is?
I don't know.
You give it away now.
Okay. All right, well done.
Where do gerbils go on vacation? Gerbils.
Richard Gere's place. Where do gerbils go on vacation?
Amsterdam.
Oh.
By the way, guys, I only seem to get sick on weekdays. I don't know if you've noticed that.
No.
Yeah. Doctor says I must have a weekend immune system. How much does it cost to swim with sharks? How much?
An arm and a leg.
An arm and a leg, yes. What else again? More mammal or seafood, sea jokes. What is one great thing about orcas?
One great thing about orcas?
Yeah.
They see everyone in black and white.
They do a killer whale impersonation.
That's the style of it.
Yeah. And Albert Einstein was a genius. Do you guys know about his brother Frank?
Frankenstein?
He was a monster. That's stupid. People give me a hard time about yesterday. Mike, you weren't in here, but I don't know if you heard it when you're at home. But I said the name of the grocery store that we don't have in Seattle.
Right.
And I
did see this.
I
yes.
called it Hagen's. Right. And someone wrote, "You jackass! It's Hagen's. Don't you know anything?" So this is what I learned in school, and I realize that's a name. But whenever you have double consonants with an A in front of it, the A is always the shortened version.
Yeah, that's
never a long A. So it would not be Hagen with 2 G's. It would be Hagen. So like ladder, I would not say later.
Right.
But how do you spell later? There's one consonant after the.
I have lived in this state my entire life. I had cousins that lived and they shopped at a Hagen, whatever the hell it is. And I still, to this day, do not know the proper way to say it.
Someone's named Manny, right? You don't go Manny.
Right.
So I didn't know it was Hagen. I've never been there. I'm sorry.
Well,
I was going with basic English principles.
You made the mistake of learning stuff in school, Miles.
Yeah.
See? That's what happens. Kids, don't worry with school.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here.
That way you two can pronounce Hagen. So which way is it? Hagen?
Hagen.
It's Hagen. All right. That's you dumbass jackass. Sorry, I was
I just
speaking
love that they carry the
English
beer.
language. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it, they carry the beer, so go there.
And they carry the salsa, too. Like when I was down there when I lived in Sumner up at Lake Taps, the Hagen that was there, they had the salsa. That
Does that matter? Does that matter or mater?
And
do you understand now what I'm saying
absolutely.
here, people?
And you know what? You're right. It is Lake Tapes. According to this math, it's Lake Tapes.
Lake Tapes.
Because it's 2 P's.
Right.
Lake Tapes.
It's a long A?
No.
Yeah.
If it's 2 P's, it's a short A.
Yeah.
So it's
this does not make me happy to go through this conversation.
Right.
You know? I have to explain this.
And I'm sorry, Miles.
We're sorry.
God damn. Okay, a couple extra emails here. Your old segment, it says. I'm just reading some that have stacked up. About 11, 12 years ago, when the iPhone 4S came out.
Oh, I remember it well.
Many of us in our company received them, an upgrade from the BlackBerries that we had been originally issued. What was issued? Oh, this is about how do you know you're old or what technology or whatever. What was issued along with the phone was the protective case, an OtterBox. Well, after setting it all up, the team members on the floor wanted to see my new phone. With the OtterBox on the phone, I say, man, that looks like an 8-track. This is where the 20-year-olds on the floor say, what's an 8-track?
What?
Yep, that was my feeling old moment. Have a great one, guys. That from Jacob. As far as places that you would not recommend. You would not recommend. Gentlemen, catching up on the podcast on the Odyssey app, everyone was ragging on Ohio and Pennsylvania. I have to agree. My family took a road trip back from New York City to Seattle when I was a kid.
Is that Pennsylvania?
Yes, in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and the 2 places that sucked the most were these 2 states by far. It took us forever to get through Pennsylvania. Every town felt empty and weird. Had to keep making stops to get stuff, food, bathroom. Tried to go to the All Seasons car wash to rinse all the road salt off the car, but it was closed. This was pre-GPS days. Finally got to Ohio at 8 a.m. one morning. Nothing food-wise was open in the area. So stopped at this old run-down mall food court. We all ended up getting food poisoning, and my whole family spent the rest of the day in the hotel bathroom. Things finally got better again once we got to Indiana and saw Notre Dame University. Rock on, bitches. That from Steven.
You know things are bad when you're like, we got to Indiana and things improved.
Yes.
Wow.
What is burned in your memory? Guys, catching up on the podcast on the Odyssey app, I thought I'd send you this just in case it arrives on a slow email day. What I still, unfortunately, see all too clearly in my mind was a time 20 years ago when I was walking through an open-air market in a rural part of Cambodia. I turned a corner, saw a young lady sitting cross-legged behind 3 large baskets of spiders.
Oh.
I thought they were alive at first glance. I froze, as there were so many, and they were all around the size of my hand, black and hairy, and fried
like my women.
in oil. I watched that lady pick one up and take a big bite of its legs. That's when I heard laughter. As I looked around, all the other ladies working their food stands were looking at me, the only white guy around, with a look of apparent horror on his face. It was then that the young lady looked over at me and started laughing. She blushed as she took another bite and just smiled. I walked away. I'm an adventurous eater, and I like all kinds of food, but this was way too much for me. Cheers, gentlemen. That from Barry.
Miles?
Yes.
You got a text here. It says, I called you a noob, not a jackass. Jackass.
Yes, a noob.
That'd be a jackace.
Hey, by the way, a jackace. And by the way, we forgot to do the birthday song.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, we did.
I'll be damned. Okay, here we go.
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
You're right, Miles.
We have to do this again.
We have to?
Yes.
To do what again?
The birthday song.
Why do we have to do it again?
Because it's not happy.
Maybe it's not happy.
Oh, it's
What?
not happy.
It's happy.
Oh, happy.
All right, here, guys. Here you go.
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
All right.
Sometimes I love how petty you can be, Miles.
It's Hagen, you dumbass.
Noob. He called you a noob. Not a dumbass, not a jackass. He called you noob.
I'm glad I have that much time on my hands in life in general to correct other people's English while I'm listening to a radio show. Jeebus Christ. Join us 1 week from tomorrow. The Men's Room World Tour coming to the line in Kirkland. Absolutely free. No ticket required. Why are we there from 2 until 4? Raising money for our friends at the 3 local Fisher House locations. If you're wondering, on tap, the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing. We'll also have the Men's Room Beer Brat from Uli's World Famous Sausage and Men's Room Roasted Red Salsa from the San Juan Salsa Company. We're going to hang out for an afternoon in Kirkland for a couple hours, drink some beer, and have a good time. Again, it's free, 2 to 4. Stop by and help support our friends at the Fisher House. It's going to be a good afternoon of drinking and hanging out. We haven't been to Kirkland before as far as the show.
That's a show, yeah.
So that's good times.
I give myself a quick plug here. If you're not doing anything tomorrow, stop by Poor Decisions in Ballard. It is the Air Guitar Championships. I will be one of the judges. I will not be performing.
Okay. What times they get underway?
I want to say I got to get there around 6:30. This thing, I believe, starts at either 7 or 7:30. I need to find that out. Either way, I'll be there around 6. But man, I'm telling you, it's a good time. It's as fun as it is ridiculous.
If they did ask you to perform, what song would you want to put on the docket as far as you going up there and doing the air guitar?
Well, that's
yourself?
what's tough, man, because so the first round of this, if you're one of the contestants, you have determined you get 60 seconds, and you can edit it any way you want.
Right.
You can put 3 different guitar solos together from 3 different songs. But I'm trying to think, what song do I air guitar to the most? You know, man, honest to God, it would probably be Crazy Trains. I love that solo.
Hell yeah.
And it's something like, if no one's looking at me, I guarantee I'm air guitar that song, man.
Couple other locations of our Men's Room IPA at the Omak Safeway, all the way out in Omak.
Omak.
Are you saying it right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Omak.
Yes. I've been out to Omak. It's a good spot out there. It's a little desolate, but it's a nice spot out there.
If you are headed to the Mariners tonight, Section 319, the upper deck at the Good Hop Spear Stand. Section 243 at the club level at the third base bar. So if you're going down to see the Rangers tonight and the Mariners, you get the beer at the stadium. Also available at the Country Corner Grocer, Odom Samples, the Rock Ridge Orchard and Cidery,
That's
Northwest Liquor and Wine, the Purdy Liquor Market, Local Boys Tap Room, Safeway on Capitol Hill, the Food Market at Key Center, the I-5 Fuel Stop, QFC Holman, Safeway Puyallup and Belfair, the Albertsons Gig Harbor, Runlands Grocer, the Huntington Corner Grocer, Chevron in Enumclaw also carrying it, Stanwood Food Mart, Total Wine in Puyallup, QFC in Stanwood, Safeway in Bonnie Lake, Edmonds Bowl and Hardware, Safeway Stillicum, Safeway West Olympia, Lakewood, Milton, Shelton, Tacoma Boys in Tacoma, also the Total Wine in Federal Way and in Silverdale, Market Time Foods in Fremont, Pine Food Store, the Village Market Thriftway in Balinger, the Kenmore Chevron, the Stillwater Grocer,
Kenmore,
the Duval Family Grocer,
Duval,
and the Gold Bar Family Grocer. I should have said it
Gold
correctly. In Ballinger.
Yes, Ballinger there.
Food Market, some of the places that you can find the brand new Men's Room IPA.
I have some sitting in my garage right now, and I'm not sure. So we got a bunch of people coming over tonight. Now, I'm not sure if my wife put them in the garage for tonight or if she did not think I would notice. But again, because it is a bright yellow can, when I opened the door, I was like, oh, hello, beautiful.
Like
but I decided,
how you do it?
So as not to get yelled at in case it is for tonight, I went downstairs and drank a bunch of random beer in the basement.
Okay. Coming up, we will drink and toast in the weekend with a shot of the day, but first.
And now, everyone's favorite daytime game show, where one person could lose $325,000 and their job, or win, and walk away with nothing. It's time for Ted versus the FCC.
Don't blink or you'll miss it. We are halfway through 2024.
Oh, my God.
That's a little weird, isn't it?
It is weird.
Yeah. Like you say the date, it's June, whatever. It's like, no, dude, the year is half over.
We are less than 10 days away from the longest day of the year. We're about to turn this sunshine around.
Oh, my God, my daughter, because she's sick. Like, I love this part of the year, and my daughter, because she's sick, she was pissing and moaning about that. Why is it still light outside? Why, baby, we go through this every summer. I know you feel like crap, but let the rest of us enjoy it.
So, as we do at the end of the year, we count them all up and tally how many misses and losses Ted had in Ted versus the FCC. But since we're through the halfway point, let's see how Ted has done so far this year with misses in Ted versus the FCC. Let's go back in time.
Time.
If Chuck can't cut the chunky cat, And incontinent Kent can't cut the chunky cut. Who can cut a chunk from Chuck's or Kent's cut?
3 times fast.
If Chuck can't cut the chunky Kent, Kent can't help but cuddle Kendra's cute country cut continuously. Kent cuddles Kendra's country cut while she creates cute country blunt cut quilts.
3 times fast.
Kent can't help but cuddle Kendra's cute country cut continuously. Kent cuddles Kendra's country cut while she creates cute country blunt cut quilt.
2, 1.
Oh, Kent can't help but cuddle Kendra's cute country cat.
Can't help but cuddle Kendra's cute country cut continuously. Kent cuddles Kendra's country cut while she creates cute country blunt cut quilts.
3 times fast.
Kent can't help but cuddle Kendra's cute country cut continuously. Kent cuddles Kendra's...
Sid's sheet-filled shanty sits in the shady sheet folding town of Schlitz Creek. Sid slides steamy sheet loads onto Sid's Schlitz Creek sheet shipping ship to Schlitz Creek fresh steamy sheets store.
3 times fast.
Sid's sheet filled with shanty sits in the shady sheet folding down the town of Schlitz Creek. Sid slides steamy sheet loads onto Sid's Schlitz Creek. Cat cuts cups and guzzles gum. Gum guzzling cats cups can't keep cat's coffee confined. Cat's coffee creeps from cat's cut. And while cat guzzles gum.
3 times fast.
Cat cuts cups and guzzles. Oh, Jesus.
3 times fast.
Cat cuts cups and guzzles gum. Gum guzzling cat's cups can't keep cat's coffee confined. Cat's coffee creeps from cat's cut while cat guzzles gum.
1.
Cat cuts cups and guzzles.
Oh, my God.
Sid's sheet-filled shanty sits in the shady sheet folding town of Schlitz Creek. Sid slides steamy sheet loads onto Sid's Schlitz Creek sheet shipping ship to Schlitz Creek fresh steamy sheet store.
3 times fast.
Sid's sheet filled with shanty sits in the shady sheet folding town of Schlitz Creek. Sid slides his steamy sheet loads onto Sid's Schlitz Creek sheet shipping ship to Schlitz Creek and fresh steamy sheet store.
1.
Sid.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Welcome to a trip you'll never forget in Denver, where summer sunshine sparks mountain adventure, where neighborhood strolls lift spirits sky high, and where music takes center stage at Red Rocks. Catch a baseball game at Coors Field, step into new dimensions at Meow Wolf. And take flavor to the next level under the stars at a Michelin restaurant. Denver, always welcome. Plan your trip at visitdenver.com/summer.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, coming up, we'll drink a toast of the weekend with a shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check on Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Thank you, Miles. Researchers in Texas are conducting a study as to if dogs have their own language, and they're using AI to figure it out. Or rather, they're trying to see if AI can figure it out.
Now, do they think it's language per se or just specific communications, right? So, like, they figured out elephants, I guess, have given each other names.
Right.
Based on how they choose to communicate. Dolphins, and I said this to Miles, this is kind of funny. So they can kind of chat with each other, but they said dolphins don't necessarily use names, but what they'll do is if they make a call in the same tone as another dolphin, that other dolphin knows it's talking to them. So, but if a dolphin were like Gilbert Gottfried, and you would go like this, and then that dolphin knows you're talking to it. Right. I'm talking to James Earl Jones, but not names. Dogs, I mean, what would they be talking about?
Well, again, okay.
You like squirrels? I like squirrels. I like squirrels a lot.
That would be some kind of algorithm that would figure out vocal sounds.
Absolutely.
Right. If I do this to you, you know exactly what I'm communicating. Correct. I didn't say a thing. So it could be just posture. It could be other things that let them communicate.
And there is. They do communicate a lot through physical.
Absolutely.
Where's your tail?
I mean, look, we know what they're doing, right?
Right.
You can look at your dog. You know if they're scared. You know if they're pissed off. You can.
And to be honest with you, I don't think even dogs half the time know what the others are saying because time to time they'll just launch into a fight.
Well, you know.
Do you think that's like? Because the dog goes around the neighborhood, the dog sniffs around. I don't know what dogs poop where because people pick it up, but I know either my dog has pooped on top of their poop,
right?
In which case they're not going to be buddies, or if you poop next to their poop, in which case you're saying we're cool, but they've never met each other.
You know when that guy's walking the dog toward you, and that dog sits down on the sidewalk and starts wagging its tail and getting all excited,
right?
You know that's going to be a happy interaction.
Absolutely,
there's not going to be any problems. Obviously, this dog just wants to meet your dog,
or it could be a con artist.
I have not had that yet. You always know when you're like shortening that leash up, like, all right, this might not be the friendliest dog in the world.
I think also we need to throw out everything that we know to be true when it comes to language, just because, like we're saying here, they're going to communicate in a way that we haven't quite thought of yet. You look at the complexities between just the languages that we as a human race go through all around the globe. You know, the different ways that we write it, the different ways that we speak it, the different subjects and languages and different styles of how we go about it.
That's why they would say math is the one universal communicator.
Exactly.
Right? Most numbers look the same, and you recognize that 1 + 1 = 2.
Right. So animals aren't going to say, "Look, this muffin tastes good." It's right. They're gonna find a different way to communicate it altogether.
My dog licks your butthole. I get the feeling everything to her.
Yeah,
is,
right.
This tastes great.
They have no taste buds.
Tongue bidet.
Oh God. For your dog, the tongue bidet.
German officials are encouraging Englishmen to smoke weed instead of chugging beer during this year's Euro Championship.
Yeah, because you're calmer.
Right.
We've been saying that for years. Like, you think it's a terrible drug. Shut up. It's not. But here's the thing. And ask any cop, and every cop I've ever talked to said, man, if you have to, like, break up a house party.
Yeah.
If everyone's drinking, it's a much different experience because there's one jackass like, F you, I know my rights. You don't. If they're smoking weed, they're like, our bad, man.
That puts that guy in that job under a terrible situation.
Absolutely.
Because being a cop is one of the most stressful jobs out there, right?
Right.
But you can't come home and have a joint and relax. So where does that take you? That takes you to the bottle naturally by your profession.
Correct.
Which is not a safe route to go down, comparatively speaking.
No.
So
my wife and I have never gotten in a fight because I was too high.
Right.
I mean, she might like, dude, just go to sleep, stop laughing, or what is so funny, or you're really, really high. Never been an issue. Get a little too much tequila in me, and I wake up on the sofa into a mean mug the next morning, you know?
How come I don't get coffee this morning? The state of Kentucky is losing access to Pornhub.
Oh, Pornhub's pulling out of that.
Yeah.
Because Kentucky said they basically said to Pornhub, look, you need to find a way to verify and guarantee that these people are 18 or older when it says, are you 18 or older? And Pornhub says, look, man, we know that some are, but they said if we do, this runs into privacy issues. The things we'd have to do to verify that. And they're like, look, we don't really want everyone's information. They want to watch porn, let them watch porn.
Right.
So Kentucky said no, so Pornhub said, all right, we're out.
And at what point is your kid's responsibility your responsibility.
Right. Like, hey, man,
But
let
this
the
is-
parents deal.
This is about adults now.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, they elect some winners in that state. So,
Yeah.
hey, guess what? Hey,
You know,
you went to the polls. You gotta
just saying-
reap what you sow.
I'm just saying, it's not Pornhub's fault that your kids are looking at it.
Yeah, look, trust me, man. I
It's
tried to
there.
I stole porn magazines from 7-Eleven and Rite Aid
Correct.
back in the day. I want to look. That was not Penthouse's fault.
Right.
It was mine.
That's right.
I take full
You little
responsibility.
D.
Right.
So we were talking earlier about the different languages that dogs can use to communicate, and in fact,
Hola.
Miles, you actually made it very, very clear here that humans don't always speak through vocally. A lot of times, there's a lot of body language that we exude there, and sometimes it's not saying all nice things.
What is this?
The Men's Top 10. The Men's Top 10.
That's a request.
10 little-known body language signs that someone hates you. Hate's a fairly strong word.
Yeah.
I prefer to loathe someone's very existence. For example, when forced to engage with said person, I might make a slight movement of my right eyebrow to acknowledge something inane they might utter. But when I really want to seal the deal, I summon from the depths of my infested colon a silent but deadly fart. Point made. Positive Friday.
I'm sorry, VD. We were miming that entire time. I missed a lot.
Well, we were like, how many different nonverbal communications do we know? It turns out all of them are related to sex. But we know quite a few.
Yes, we do. Good Lord. So these are little known. You might not know these ones.
Okay.
We knew everyone that we were throwing at each other here. Little known body language signs that somebody hates you. They scrunch up their nose. Although this might sound weird, if someone doesn't like you, they might scrunch up their nose a bit. It's a facial expression of disgust.
I'm going to start staring at everyone now. Do you scrunch up your goddamn nose at me?
Right.
Do you scrunch your nose
What the hell,
at me?
man? Do you hate me? Do you hate me?
Sounds like someone we know.
They hide behind their stuff.
What do you mean?
It's not exactly like they're cowering, but they'll put their phone up, or maybe they got their bag in between you
There's
and them.
something between you and them.
Correct. They're creating a cushion to where there is not direct contact there.
Okay. And is that why my wife wears a book bag on the front when we have sex? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm like, babe, this is a lot awkward. She's like, no, it's fine.
Mine just has one of those emergency rafts that she pulls the ripcord if she's done.
Slides out of bed.
They purse their lips. The person who's chatting to you might smile during conversation, and when they find themselves next to you at a party, but their smile could look forced, and they're likely to be pursing their lips.
Okay, that look.
You know when someone does not want to talk to you.
Exactly. Or at least you should. Yeah. You should,
You should
Miles.
have some social
difference.
cues.
You should. There's a lot of people that I know that it's like, look, I'm trying to be nice with my social cues, like my face, my expressions, my body language. I clearly do not want to have this conversation anymore, and I'm trying to find the polite way to wrap it up.
See, you say that, Miles, but you're so convinced that woman in El Gaucho was fine with you.
She was smiling at me.
I thought it was particularly... Yeah, but she was smiling kind of like... Think back to that day you really, 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 really effed up and pissed your father off.
Oh, yeah.
And before he spoke to you, there's kind of this smile on his face. It's like Bill Cowher.
She
when
kept
he was a
talking
coach.
to me.
You kept talking to her.
I don't believe that.
There comes a level of anger, though. I see what you're saying. That
There's just this smile.
You can ramp the anger up, and then as soon as you kind of hit that kill switch, it just all goes away completely.
And it's this just mirthless smile.
Oh, yeah.
Former players for the Steelers used to say, man, offense and defense, you're getting off the field, and they'd look at Coach Cowher. And if he was smiling, you went somewhere else.
Oh, Lord.
If he looked pissed off, you knew you did a good job. And they said it took you a season to figure it out. But vets would tell him, hey, Cowher's smiling at you, dude. He's not happy.
Then they brought in happy, smiley Mike Tomlin.
Oh,
Yeah.
warm and fuzzy dude.
Kind of the equivalent of, you're walking along a beach and the water's a lot lower than it usually is. Like It's completely gone. It's like, this is odd. I'm not used to seeing this. Tsunami on the way. Little known body language signs that somebody hates you. They touch their face or their hair. When someone fidgets, that's a clear sign that they're nervous or anxious, but they might also do this if they're not feeling relaxed around you.
I was just thinking it was a nervous tick. Guess a lot of people just don't like me.
They just really want you to stop talking, Steve.
Yeah.
Their body language doesn't mirror yours. You can tell when you're in sync with and connected to someone by watching their body language and how it mirrors your body language.
I've heard that. So if you mirror each other's body language. So my thought is the next time you get drunk at a bar, rip your shirt off, and the other guy rips his shirt off, and you both get in a fighting stance.
Yeah.
At that moment, you go, you know what, man? Actually, we should be friends.
This could work, man.
You're mirroring my body language right now. You look like you want to punch me in the face. I look like I want to punch you in the face. Let's just go and get a beer.
They keep their feet fixed to the ground. Although this might look at a person's face for cues when chatting with them, you should also look at their feet. People sway. They kind of, they rock a little bit.
Adjust themselves.
Because your feet do get uncomfortable when you're standing there. But if you're standing there strong, that's all. I wonder if that's almost like an aggressive fighting stance sort of a situation. Like, I'm going to punch this man. Believe it or not, if their pupils dilate. When someone likes you, their pupils tend to dilate, but this isn't the only time it happens. It can also happen when someone's feeling anger or fear.
Well, then how do you know the difference?
Right? That is the biggest roundabout that I've ever doggone read. Hey, do you like me right now or do you want to kill me? One of the two.
One of these two things, yeah.
Okay. And I'm banking on one of them. Little known body language signs that somebody hates you, their eyes start glazing over.
Yeah.
That is the worst feeling in the world for me.
That's not hate. This is boring, man.
Right. Why am I here?
Yeah, I don't think my eyes glaze over if I hate you, but whatever you're talking about, I've lost interest in.
I don't dive into stories that I have a whole lot because I don't think I'm terribly good at telling them, but then when I finally do, and then I just kind of see those eyes start to glaze over, I'm like,
get self-conscious again.
Time to wrap it up.
I wrap it up immediately. Like, I just completely deflate my story. Yeah. Once I see your eyes stop focusing, like, I'm out.
Play the Oscar music in your head.
Yep, sorry, man. They don't nod when you're speaking. I have done that to people. If you have pissed me off, mainly this has happened long before the conversation, but if I don't like you and I have to have an interaction with you, I just sit there and I just let you talk. I don't affirm anything.
Yeah, people do get very stoic.
Because they get chummy with you. Because they're trying to soften you up. Because they know that they've pissed you off. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure. And I don't nod or affirm anything like that. Just
You're right. I think I do that as a parent.
Oh, yeah?
The kids aren't in trouble, per se, but they know you're kind of mad at them.
Correct.
And they always try to come out to kind of dip their toe in the water to see where you're at. And I do realize, you're very succinct when you speak.
Right.
We're not going to talk about it again, but I realize, my body's not moving.
Well, you got to drop some ice in some boiling water to get it to cool down first, and it's going to dance a little bit. They frown a lot. You haven't said anything in a foreign language or given them a complicated math problem to solve, and yet they're still frowning at you during the conversation.
Some people just have a look that they're not happy, even though there's nothing wrong.
Correct. And also, don't make fun of them for that. They're very self-conscious about that.
I call them like a resting bitch face.
Exactly.
Times they heard, like, could you just smile? Which is the worst thing to say.
Right. This is my face relaxed.
They just don't look happy, and that's not going to change.
Correct.
I had a friend named Bitch Face, and I couldn't say what her real name is. No, seriously, she was introduced to me as Bitch Face. She introduced herself as Bitch Face. I even introduced her to my mother as Bitch Face. My mother was not happy with that. But it got to the point that we didn't hear it anymore. That's her name. So my mother sees me at the bar. I'm like, oh, this is so-and-so. This is so-and-so. This is Bitch Face Steven. I'm like, no, that's what you call yourself.
It is, man. And then this is the number one little-known body language sign that somebody hates you. It's going to shock you, fellas. They barely look at you. Although not making eye contact usually means that the person lacks confidence, it can also happen if they dislike you.
Okay. My wife does not like me, based on all of these.
She hates my
You're not smiling. You're not okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. What could possibly happen to a crocodile that terrorizes a town in Australia, Miles?
I don't know what could happen to him.
I'll tell you all about it at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, we made it to the weekend and drinking time.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, You call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Great time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink test can. Steve at Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast 33-year-old Sean Herman of Nashville, Tennessee. Now, unfortunately, he was recently fired from his job after his employers found out he had been making porn on his OnlyFans page, all right?
Uh-oh.
So the video in question, it shows him dressed as a police officer, complete with a squad car, and he's conducting a traffic stop where he fondles a woman's breast.
Oh, no.
Now, you would think you should be able to do what you want to do on your own personal time, but the reason his employer fired him is because he's actually a cop. He was in his real uniform and used his actual squad car to make the video. So when they saw this, they're like, you got to go. By the way, believe it or not, that's a felony. He's facing 2 counts of felony official misconduct.
One for each boob.
And also, by the way, what do you think his name was in the video?
Officer Nasty.
Officer Johnson.
Oh.
Good luck, Officer Johnson. In his actual cop uniform using his squad. Man. Yeah, they were like, dude, we don't even care that you made porn. We care that you did it in your police uniform using the squad car. Come on. Mm-hmm. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. You know it's Bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault.
Jam on.
And a salute to Dad on a Bad Choice Friday, Father's Day on Sunday. So we had Madonna and Papa Don't Preach taking on James Brown. And Papa's got a brand new bag. Mike, how was the voting?
It wasn't even close, Miles. It was a 15 to 85 split on this thing. It was an absolute runaway because at the end of the day on Father's Day, fathers don't want people telling them what they can't do. They just want to sit there and get themselves a brand new bag. James Brown.
Here's your winner on a Bad Choice Friday. Welcome to the weekend. You're listening to Men's Room 99.9 KISW Seattle.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Now for all TV news all the time, it is time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the men's room presents TV Time with Ted.
Ted and I did a little do-si-do here.
Yes, indeed.
I've been out all week. He finally is out, so I'm in. And back we are. How are we doing today, gents?
Doing great.
Great, man.
Fantastic.
Positive Friday.
Positive Friday, indeed. So one of the, I've been out all week long, been working at home, playing nurse with the wife, which gives me plenty of time to watch TV and a litany of all the different TV shows and movies and whatnot that I have access to. I didn't watch a whole lot.
A lot of people are very worried about you.
Were they?
Not because of your wife, but based on the fact that your microphone sounded tinty from home.
It did.
Like, why is Mike's mic all messed up?
Why is he in the bathroom?
Because I'm not in a soundproof booth and I was in my kitchen and I couldn't have my microphone all the way up here to my face because I was pretty sure I was booming through when I did. One thing that I did find, though, is the wife and I found a good comfort show at the end of the day, every day. Make dinner, put it together, get in the living room, and we just watch Modern Family. We watch like 4 or 5 episodes every night.
It's a great show, but did you watch it when it was on?
No.
Oh, dude,
no,
it's fantastic.
And I'm a sitcom guy. Like, I have loved sitcoms my entire life. Growing up, my mom always watched Frasier. She watched Will and Grace. She watched Friends. She watched
the
Big
NBC
Bang Theory.
lineup, it
You
seems,
bet, dude.
Who was the funny, relatable character?
Of Modern Family?
Yeah. Is it the whole cast that's funny, or is there one?
Yes.
The whole cast is funny. How they interact, because they're all very different.
Correct.
But just how they interact is what makes the thing fun. I don't think anyone's necessarily relatable.
I wouldn't say that.
I feel like I'm headed toward Ed O'Neill territory as a human being.
You absolutely are
yes,
Ed O'Neill.
I just don't have his money, but yeah.
Exactly. And the different characters that they all are, my wife and I have already labeled ourselves the other couple that's there, Claire and Phil. Because I hate how much he is exactly like me, rather I am like him, because he is just this nerdy, goofy, always positive guy that always just happens to get himself in trouble just in spite of himself.
Okay, never has ill intent.
No,
ever,
but always says stupid things that will always be taken wrong. Always ends up in a situation where his pants are down.
Yeah, and
I love that the show is a mixture of decently relatable situations, or at least plausible situations, mixed with some old school, Three Stooges style slapstick comedy.
Absolutely.
There are some things that are just so heinous in there that it makes me laugh my ass off.
And the one thing I really liked about the show, and not a lot of sitcoms pull this off, but they're not really telling jokes. It's not like a setup and a punchline. It's just the conversation is funny, and it carries through the whole thing.
Absolutely.
And I like that where you're laughing at every single thing that everyone says, but there's no real jokes being told.
100%. And I don't know why I wrote it off for the longest time. It was just like, I've seen sitcoms. I don't need to see them. This one's for the next generation, whatever. I was on a plane earlier this year, and I needed to catch 20 minutes. I just needed to sleep for a second, and I like having noise on in the background that I don't care about, that I can fall asleep to. My normal animated shows were gone, so I was like, fine, I'll just turn on this Modern Family show, whatever. Dude, within 3 minutes of the pilot, I was hooked, and I mean hooked. And there's never been a show that has grabbed me that hard much since like Breaking Bad. This was a great show.
You're doing it like I did with Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone goes on. I did enjoy it, but I waited for it to finish because then I could binge it. So for you, because I'll flip around on Xfinity and I'll see Modern Family and it just runs the entire, it started whenever and goes until whenever. So these days I go, this is a great time to discover a show you like.
100%, dude. So that's definitely on the docket for her recovery playlist, as it were. There's a WWE documentary on there on the life of Bray Wyatt, who unfortunately passed away. And I've already seen the documentary, so I'm waiting to show up at home and she's just in a puddle in her bed because it's a rather sad story.
Do you fake that you've not seen a show with your wife?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
I'm sure she has with you as well.
Well, the thing is that I can't depend on her to watch shows. I really
Exactly.
can't.
And if you want to watch something and you're geeked up on it, like with my daughter, she wanted to watch the new Star Wars. So I'd already seen the first one, but I said, look, I'll watch it again. We'll watch episode 1. But I know for a fact now I'm on 3. And she'll...
Did you watch today?
Oh, yeah.
I did not like that.
Uh-oh. And God, The Boys is on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Have you seen the new Boys?
I saw the first one. I've got 2 more, so I can watch
Did
one
they release 3 episodes?
Yeah, they did on the first night.
Oh, shoot. I'm only 1 episode. I thought it was just 1 episode. I watched the first one this morning.
My wife and I are closing in on the end of
Season
the
3.
previous. I think we have 1 more episode to go. But with that, so it's one of those, we can only watch it when the kids are in bed. Like that is not a show I'm going to watch when the kids are awake. And the problem is she always falls asleep before me. Granted, she also gets up way before me. But so we can get like 45 minutes in, and then she falls asleep. So I'll finish the episode, right?
Right.
And then the deal that we make is I said, look, I finish the episode, and I watch most of the next one. When I'm at work, throw this thing on. And by the time I get home, we catch up. So we kind of like do the baton pass. But we got to watch it earlier last night. Because, again, my daughter's sick, and my son had a sleepover at the school, for the end-of-school crap. So at 8 o'clock, we never put the show on before like 10. Because we don't even want the kids wandering in. And even when you hit pause, there's nothing on screen that you wouldn't have to explain.
Absolutely.
And you don't want to explain anything in that show to a child. So
you don't.
About 8 o'clock, daughter's dead asleep in her bed. Man, we put that thing on at 8. It felt good. I'm like, this is what it's like to watch something we want to watch at 8 o'clock.
Exactly
I don't remember. The last time we did that was 13 years ago.
Here's what I'm thinking about when it comes to these, because I think Ted mentioned it earlier this week, that these are the last 2 seasons of The Boys, and he's going to end the series after next season.
Yeah.
So here's my thought. Spoiler alert on this whole thing. This is how it's going to end. They're going to go Avengers Endgame style on this thing, Miles. They're going to spend this entire season building this up to where Homelander is going to take over everything. They've already set the seeds in the first episode, where they're going to slowly build chaos, and eventually he's going to take over this thing, and it's going to be absolutely dire at the end of season 4. Like, it is going to be how in the hell do they come back from this? Like everybody's just not going to have it. Season 5, it's going to ramp up bigger than we ever thought possible. They're going to somehow manage to outboys the boys, and it is going to get absolutely heinous until the final episode, and then all of a sudden everything's going to come crashing down.
Well, I think you're probably right. It seems like they're designed. It's such a fantastic show, man.
It's going to be epic.
It's a great show. Every episode I enjoy. Like there's always some laughs. There's always some wow moments.
But the things I'm always laughing at, I'm like this is not funny, man. But goddamn.
So the new Star Wars story isn't quite doing it for you guys. As far as episode 3,
the first 2 episodes are okay, and I know that you got to build stuff up and set a story. I understand the purpose of episode 3, which is the most recent one that's out. I just hated it. It's kind of a backstory to explain to you why you care about everything else that's going to happen.
Gotcha.
I just didn't enjoy it.
So it was necessary, but it's more something that you have to get through.
It's not even necessarily necessary. I understand why they did it, because it will explain other things, but it's not so important. Put it this way, it's not like there was anything you could not piece together on your own. And typically I will appreciate, we can go back and say, okay, this is how it really went down. But after I watched it, I'm like, I didn't need to know.
You can even go back in time and do a montage, so to speak.
Right.
Like when Rocky, I know he trained for 3 months, but you know what? You just encapsulated with some cheesy-ass song in 3 minutes of him running slow motion on the beach. Or in Russia, training with a log on his back. I mean, montage helps just to get, I don't need the whole show to be based on that. Just give me 3 minutes. I'll figure it out.
Right. We understand what he's doing and why he's doing it.
Right. Well, and also trust your audience to, like you guys are saying, know what's going on. I caught a clip of a couple podcasters that were talking about. Do you guys remember the movie Men in Black?
Yes.
One of the small details that was in there is the guy that was in the Edgar suit. Right. Slowly over time, that body was decaying throughout the entire movie. They never brought attention to it. Never once did they bring attention to that. And they said if that were a Netflix movie these days, there would come a point like, it's got to be him. You notice that his body's been decaying this entire time. Like,
and
let people figure it out.
Right. a little mystery, or like you said, to notice something. Because you think to yourself, is his body decaying? Did the makeup go? But as the movie goes on, you go, okay, this is an intentional thing, and it's fun when you notice it, not when you tell me.
Exactly. Switching gears here. Good news to Friends fans. They're soon going to be able to recreate Ross and Rachel's drunken chapel scene in Las Vegas. I know that you guys were booking your tickets for that.
Were they in Vegas when they did that? Is that part of the...
I think they were, yes. There was this was in season 5. There was a moment there where Joey went to Vegas because he was working down there. He ended up working in Caesar's Palace.
Right.
He was dressed up as a Roman. I don't remember that fully, though.
All right.
It says it'll have recreations of the sets from the show besides the chapel door that Ross and Rachel walk out of. There's also going to be Monica's apartment, the Central Perk coffee shop, and the water fountain from the opening credits. I believe the same thing that was here in Seattle. Didn't they have that here for a hot minute here?
I believe they did.
I think so, yeah.
I feel like it'd be more fun in Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely,
Everything just gets
as
a little
long as
bit
there's
more
air
fun in Vegas.
conditioning. Castle's chapel, it was hot, man.
For real?
Oh, yeah.
God.
They had no air
the
conditioning down there?
one cool thing about a wedding chapel, honest to God, is that you walk in and pictures of people who've had their nuptials there are on the walls.
Yeah.
With Elvis, with all these different things, with their wedding parties and stuff. So as you wander around the hall, you just start looking at pictures of people who celebrated their big moment there. You don't know most of them. I'm just kind of looking at the wall.
But you still look cool.
And I'm like, oh, that's Duff and Susan McKagan.
Oh, God, that's right.
For real? They got married?
Yeah. I totally forgot about that.
You know, like, who are these, Jack? Oh, that's Duff. That's Susan. I do know somebody that married her.
I think that they would have that picture front and center, like Duff McKagan got married.
God almighty.
But it's Vegas, so I feel like Vegas, not protect people's identities, but they don't make a big deal out of anything because everything to do is a big deal. So I think they're like, nah, man, you're just up on the wall.
Here's another great one for you. Okay, so when Jolene used to work here in 2 nights, and Castle's told this story before, he and Hair Club would have a jar. And it was a late jar because Jolene's never on time, right?
Yes.
For anything.
She was born at 7 years old.
It's like on a Monday meeting, she's like, here's a 20 for the week. And she just, it was like $1 every time. She's like, here's 20.
Right.
Count me out for, the next 2 to 3 weeks, whatever. So they do the nuptials. Ryan and his wife kiss the bride, all that stuff, the whole thing.
And by the way, the Elvis guy actually, instead of saying, do you take this man to be your wife, you take this man to be your hunk of burning love.
Yes, he does.
God. Oh, yeah.
So crack the door open because I'm going to smoke. It's 105 freaking degrees in Vegas that day. Open it up. It's like a scene out of like Raising Arizona. This cat pulls in on a dirt side road, kind of turns sideways on a skid thing, opens the door. It's a limousine. Out pops Jolene and her boyfriend. I'm like,
the wedding's over.
They missed the entire thing.
What were they doing?
We don't know.
She was getting ready.
But was she just getting ready?
No, she just gets ready. It takes, a year and a half of that.
But she's just not on time.
No,
that's all. So no one was surprised.
We're here, surprise. You missed the whole thing. Just get back in the car.
Good work. Sunday is Father's Day, and we have here a list from Hollywood Reporter. They put together a list of the best and worst TV dads. So we have 5 of the best and 5 of the worst
TV dads.
I would say, and it sounds bad when you say it, but as far as the character goes, Huxtable, Bill Cosby.
Well, I go back to Ed O'Neill. I thought he was a great dad.
And what, Married with Children?
Yeah. I mean, you might not have liked his parenting style, but he was quick to the point and funny. That's what dads do.
See, now, I will say here, they put him on the list of the worst for Al Bundy.
I don't know, man. He took care of his family. Look, they had their family dynamic in the house. But one thing about that show, if you threatened his family, and I always love these scenes that happen maybe 8 times in the entire run, he'd get pissed, he'd look someone dead in the eye and just say, let's rock. So, look, I can treat my family the way I want to treat my family.
Sure.
But they had each other's backs.
Yep.
And he does kind of play the same ish dad in Modern Family, and they put him down as one of the best dads for Modern Family.
On Modern Family?
Yeah.
One of the best lines I heard from Modern Family. So one of his sons is so Ed O'Neill, he's a man's man, power tools and all this kind of thing. And the redhead kid is just not that kind of guy. So Ed O'Neill's trying to do some project. His son is insisting, a grown adult son, is insisting that, hell, Dad, I can do this, blah, blah, blah. So they would do these little quick asides, and Ed O'Neill looks at the camera and goes, working with my son on, on any kind of blue-collar project, it's my personal Vietnam.
Oh, yeah.
And I was in Vietnam. I was like, damn.
They actually just had the episode that we caught recently. They were out golfing, and at one point it was boiling to the point to where they were talking about the childhood and the difficulty of growing up with Ed O'Neill and Mitchell as his son, and how they were all that disconnected. They didn't do a whole lot together and whatnot. By the end of it, there are 2 cars with 4 grown-ass men in it. listening to the Cats in the Cradle and just bawling their eyes out like, I need to go call my dad.
I remember that episode.
Tony Soprano comes in the list as one of the worst TV father.
Well, it's hard to be a mob boss and a great dad.
I agree with that.
Is that based on his profession? He seemed like, I know he had maybe some...
He protected his family and they lived well.
Yeah, what?
He provided.
You know you're watching a show about the mob.
But he creates undue pressure on his family by being in the mob.
Okay, that's fair enough.
But that's not the character. That's just what he's playing. I don't expect him to be like baking a cake guy. Inviting the 5th grade class.
But that's
over.
what we're talking about here,
That's not
Bob.
what I expect from him. So what it has to be like, back to who is?
Let's see here. They didn't even label. Rather, no. They just listed and described each dad's parenting style. So yeah, they didn't actually even say who was the best or the worst. This is actually coming from Complete Sheet here.
Like Stan Marsh, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He should be one of the best
One of
dads.
my favorite dads on television.
Easily.
He sticks up for his kids, sticks up for his family, comes up with crazy
And you know
ideas
what?
to try to raise money
When
for him.
time got tough, he went out and he made a doggone pot farm because he was going to provide for his family.
I mean, like, what's wrong with that?
One of the worst dads, Frank Gallagher out of Shameless. When the first episode
Yeah.
has him passed out drunk on the floor, that's probably not your best
I
dad.
loved him as a character, but I did think to myself, don't ever be like that with your kids.
One of the best dads, Jack Pearson from We Be This.
We Be This. Who played that character?
I have no idea.
'Cause my wife watched that show religiously just so she could bawl her eyes out every week. I'm like, is this fun for you?
That was kind of the whole thing with that show. It was a therapeutic show, man.
I don't know if it was therapeutic. All they did was cry.
And then the worst dad on TV, they go Peter Griffin.
See,
Sorry, his shenanigans. He has said multiple times how he doesn't care about his kids.
Okay, all right.
The shameless things that he does to his daughter, shoving her face in his butt while he farts. Like, he's not the best dad. Funny, gets into great hijinks.
Right.
You wouldn't walk by your kid and fart if he was like 3 feet
Walk
tall.
by, absolutely, but you don't.
You just crop dusted your kid. That was making a bad person.
Like, you don't serve it up to him raw.
Miles, you're a future lawyer. Just because I crop dusted my kid.
Pull my finger while I walk by.
The best TV dad, the number one that they go here from Full House, Danny Tanner.
I never really watched Full House.
Good for Danny.
Honestly, yeah, right. I didn't catch a whole lot of that show either. It was huge when I was growing up. Everybody that I knew did watch it, and I feel like the clips that I watched, he was your very well-rounded dad. He took very good care of them. He was very understanding, listened to them, actually talked with them, got on their level. Makes sense.
Now, somebody here says Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it wasn't a father, but great role model.
Right, and that, you know what, that should count. He's a father figure. You're right. He's
He's
not
a father
dad.
figure. He did a great job. I do remember one episode of that at the end. You know, Phil's kind of summing things up with the kids. I didn't see the whole episode, but he says something to Carlton. You know, I hope you learned your lesson, blah, 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 blah. And he looks at Will and goes, and we don't kidnap family members in this family. And Will looked at him and said, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And I'm like, I've used that line at work. So, I didn't know, man.
What are you going to watch this weekend? Friday, you got tonight on ABC. You got the NBA Finals. Dallas Mavericks host the Boston Celtics. Boston leads at 3-0. Let's see.
These finals have sucked. Hockey and NBA, man. It's like, golly, all that viewing and all that enjoyment just sucks.
Exactly. Saturday morning, for those of you that are Peacock subscribers, you get this for free. Clash at the Castle. It's a WWE Premium Live event. It's going to be a ton of fun. It's being held in Glasgow, Scotland.
Oh, all right. Yeah, okay, I've heard something about that.
That's why it's going to be so early. I don't know. I'm going to get up and watch it. It's going to be a great time. Also on Saturday, on ABC, Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Edmonton Oilers host the Florida Panthers, just as Miles was saying. Florida leads at 3-0. This could very well be a sweep coming this weekend. On Sunday on CBS, the 77th Annual Tony Awards.
I won't be watching.
Sunday at 9 on HBO, the second season of House of Dragon will premiere. And then what are you going to watch later on tonight? You got Jimmy Kimmel. He's the only one who's
Are you ignoring his Sunday
he's ignoring my
NFL,
UFO.
Football?
Oh, of course.
Championship game.
They don't have it on here. I should have written it down there.
Sons of bitches.
When is the UFL
you care about? That is the only thing I care about on Sunday. I know it's Father's Day. Everyone, leave me the hell alone. But it starts at 1.
What's your prediction?
I believe man,
I think the Brahmas take it again.
Do you?
Yes.
Man.
Yes. I'm XFL all the way, baby.
I will go on record. I think, Mike, I think you're right, man. I think it's going to be a super tight game, but Brahmas pull it out.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. You're listening to Men's Room.
Here's why April chose to vaccinate her child.
I think actually meeting someone who was not vaccinated and now has a lifelong struggle with a childhood disease really cemented for me that it's super important that we as parents continue to vaccinate our children.
Talk to your pediatrician or visit yvaccines.com. Brought to you by Merck.
It's warming up, folks, and about time to turn on your AC unit and cross your fingers. Or you can give up that moment of truth and switch to an American Standard heat pump system like I did. My place is on Comfort Autopilot thanks to American Standard. Energy efficient and reliable, my heat pump keeps things cool like the Arctic in the summer. And with energy incentives, I was able to save. Ready for the future of comfort? Learn more at americanstandardair.com/electrification.
Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. Parents can send instant money transfers, automate allowance, and more. Plus, keep an eye on spending with real-time notifications. Join more than 6 million families building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get your first month free at greenlight.com/Odyssey. That's greenlight.com/Odyssey.
The men's room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go as we head down under for an Aussie good meal of cheese fries, a bloomin' onion, and crocodile bites. To the FBI building in Seattle for another ordinary day on 3rd Avenue sites. One-bedroom home in San Francisco just sold for $2 million in cash. Self-driving Tesla in California causes another deadly crash. And a monkey on the loose in North Carolina is finally back home at his owner's apartment. Time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
All right, top story, we go to the Northern Territory of Australia, where revenge is a dish served several ways. For quite some time, a local community has been terrorized by a near 12-foot crocodile stalking the waterways, lunging at children and adults, and even taking some of the neighborhood pets to sustain itself. Yeah. Well, enough had been enough for the neighborhood as one of the residents took up arms, hunted down, and killed the crocodile, deciding to make the most of his latest kill. They had a full-blown cookout of the croc, making crocodile tail soup, put some on the barbie, wrapped some in banana leaves, cooked it underground. They used every last bit of that reptile to feed the neighborhood.
I kind of appreciate that.
Hell yeah.
If you're going to take out the nuisance, but then you put it to good use. And I've had alligator. I've never had crocodile. I imagine they taste fairly the same, but alligator was really good, man.
Yeah, and you got to know that they know how to cook it down there. And the story talked about how they're protected.
They are,
just because of the nature of them. But at some
also,
point, enough's enough, and the other point is
that's exactly if they start stalking the neighborhoods. Yes, right. You can take. And they said they're to 100,000 of them now.
Right,
ain't nobody missing that bullet.
We're not hunting crocodiles. Right. We're hunting a crocodile. Right. Man, if they're not careful, this could turn into an annual thing too.
Oh, like once a year.
You bet. Let's just go kill a croc. Have a croc cookout. Down in California,
with blooming onions,
we see the latest example of why you can't trust self-driving mode. A local Tesla owner was coasting down the road with his car on autopilot and admittedly using his cell phone. Unfortunately, despite the car being smart enough to stay between the lines and maintain speed, it wasn't smart enough to notice the stopped police cruiser in the middle of the road with its lights flashing, the flares that were placed in the middle of the road to investigate the fatal crash that had recently occurred. The Tesla managed to smash into the police cruiser, and the driver is now facing some heavy penalties.
Yeah, but it is.
Pay the hell of attention.
Right, still pay attention.
You are in control of that automobile.
Correct.
You're responsible.
Well, and I've had a car that I don't know if it's technically like the autopilot or the steering control or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know how people can just go full-on autopilot mode on that thing.
I'll tell you, I'm not that comfortable with anything.
I'll lean on it more than that. Cruise control. Even if I am on the highway on a long trip. Now, if I'm in the middle of Arizona or Montana, maybe my perception changes. I have a hard time using cruise control because I'm not in control of the car.
Right.
Gotcha. That makes sense. If you need to slow down.
If I need to slow down, I'll just say, I know if I press the brake, it'll slow down.
Sure.
I just don't like that aspect of, just not being in control of the car.
Yeah.
But also, I don't drive much, but part of the joy of driving is that I am in control of this.
Right. It becomes an extension of yourself.
Yeah, maybe it's just me, but I enjoy that.
We stay right here at home in Seattle for a woman that had an encounter with the local FBI. She walked into the local branch on 3rd Avenue and was spotted by authorities carrying a weapon and pointing it at her chest for whatever reason. They immediately moved in on her, and a standoff ensued, ending after negotiators were able to talk her down to the point of being put into custody. There were no hostages in the incident, and the story does not detail her motive for the display.
No one seems to know other than she showed up with a gun.
Right, pointed it at her chest, at her own chest. It's not like she was threatening anybody else in there.
It is weird down there. So a friend of ours who works in a building on 3rd she brought that up to us yesterday, just saying, man, an FBI thing. And so Miles goes, God, man, you're right there next to the 7-Eleven. I saw a woman take a dump directly in front of the 7-Eleven. The woman we're talking to comes back and says, someone walked into our building lobby and took a dump in there.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, Jesus, man. And then she just brought up the FBI thing. She's like, that's a couple doors down the road. I'm like, what the hell goes on that road?
Just in case the cost of a house didn't make you die a little on the inside enough, a home just sold in Cupertino, California, just west of San Jose, for the low price of $2 million.
And we know what you're thinking. Well, it's outside of San Fran. That sounds about right.
The buyer didn't get nothing for their money. The home sits on a 7,800 square foot lot, a good-sized lot,
Sure.
a desirable part of the city, which is why they were able to get such a high amount for a 384 square foot home.
Do the math on that.
384.
And that's a bedroom, it's a bathroom, it's your living/dining room and a kitchen, and 300 and some square feet.
My first apartment was double that size.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And it was all that I could afford.
And so some people are like, well, maybe they'll tear it down to build something bigger. I'm like, but you're already $2 million in the hole.
Right.
I don't get it, man.
That's the whole thing, is that, it's got all that lot on there so that they can expand. It's like, you've spent $2 million. How in the hell are you going to expand this damn thing? But just in case those stories left a bad taste in your mouth, it's a positive Friday. And
thankfully, there's good news.
Over to North Carolina, where a friend has been found. Local police posted on their social media that a monkey had managed to get loose of his home and had last been spotted at a nearby marsh, asking anyone with information to contact authorities immediately. Subsequently, they assured the public that the monkey had been found and reunited with his owner, but not before the chief got some cheeky pictures with the little monkey.
Yeah, got to take a picture of the monkey if you got a monkey.
Man. Like, I know you and I are both scared of monkeys. If there's a monkey, I'll take a quick photo and then get the hell out of it.
Is he the monkey was wearing a diaper?
Not shocked. I feel like they always do that.
Yeah, he was wearing a diaper just going through the neighborhood. I was like, well, at least he's cleaning up after himself, so to speak.
Exactly.
What brand of diaper do you buy for a monkey?
One that has a hole for the tail.
Ooh, good point.
I mean, I never saw that diaper before, but I guess it's a monkey diaper. I'm sure you can get it on Amazon.
Monkey diapers.
Monkey diaper.
That's a band name.
Monkey diaper. The band name.
Well, it's for an animal with a tail. So maybe dog, whatever. I don't know. The animal needs a...
You ever seen a dog with a diaper on?
Sure. Yes.
That is a sad, sad thing.
My buddy had this old beat-up, gnarly-looking little dog. The dog's about the size of a loaf of bread. It was 800 years old when I first met it, and that thing had a diaper on. And I'm like, bro. He's like, I know, man.
Men's Room Sports, the Florida Panthers took Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final last night in a 4-3 victory over the Edmonton Oilers, giving them a 3-0 advantage in the series, meaning that it's match point from here on out. Next game is going to be tomorrow night at 5:00 on ABC, just in case you didn't catch that on TV time. Meanwhile, tonight on ABC, you've got Game 4 in the 3-0 series for the NBA championship with the Celtics looking to sweep against the Mavericks. The game is already underway. Your Seattle Seawolves, your rugby team, is going to be taking on the Houston SaberCats tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Not sure if you can watch that one, but if you can, do it, man.
Hey, local affiliates, man, find a way to televise those games. Rugby is a great sport to watch.
There's a handful of them that are on Fox 13 Plus, if you've got that. So that's going to be your best bet. Your Sounders are also playing Minnesota tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on Apple TV. And then don't forget, Sunday, UFL Championship, San Antonio Bravos versus the Birmingham Stallions, 5 o'clock over there on Fox.
Is it 5?
5 p.m. It might be Eastern time. I don't know.
Damn it.
I don't frickin' know. Check Fox. Check your local listings on Fox. Your Seattle Mariners once again took it to extra innings with the White Sox last night thanks to a massive home run by Julio Rodriguez. Unfortunately, they did end up losing it 3-2 in the 10th, but they still won the series. Tonight, our boys start the first of a 3-game series against the defending World Series champions and have a real opportunity to put some distance between them in the race for the division. First game starts at 7:10 on Apple TV+. Luis Castillo getting the start tomorrow, 4:15 on Fox with Kirby. And then wrapping things up nicely on Sunday at 1. That one's actually on Root Sports. Logan Gilbert getting the start on Father's Day. As far as your weather, the clouds are moving in tonight, may cause some light scattered showers tomorrow afternoon, but that'll make way for Father's Day Sunday, where things will be clearing up. Temperatures sticking around the mid to low 60s all weekend long. And that is it for your headlines with that. Have a great weekend. Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Dads, happy Father's Day. You want to get Dad something? How about a 6-pack of Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing?
And if he doesn't drink it yourself and say I was thinking of you. In the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man!
You don't just live in your home, you live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.